Welcome to the fantasy audiobook, Age of the Planet, Building an Alchemy Civilization from Scratch. Chapter 81. Father, Shu Jie returning home. I saw a man with some white hair. Immediately surprised. This familiar yet unfamiliar feeling. The man in front of him is his father. Child. Came back. Congratulations on your good result for the first place. Dad made you your favorite Kung Pao chicken, come try it. The man unbuttoned his bib and said with a smile. Aha, good. Smell the food. It brought back familiar memories. Took a few bites. A feeling of blood dissolved and water came to my heart. Although he is only the father of the predecessor. But family affection also affected Shu Jie. Dad. I took the first place in the test this time. The school rewarded me with 200 million federal dollars. You should stop working in the future. Shu Jie said while eating. Wow. So much. Son, you are amazing. But Dad doesn't plan to use this money. The development of your planet is inseparable from the Federation coin. And you have to marry a daughter-in-law to carry on the lineage for our Shu family. The man also sat down and took a few bites of the meal, rejecting his kindness. That won't work. Dad, you see your hair is white. It's time to retire and enjoy the happiness. Shu Jie said with some distress. Eat vegetables, eat vegetables. Retirement will wait until the end of your college entrance examination. After the college entrance examination, the stone in Dad's heart can be put down. Shu Jie listened to it. Didn't say much. Anyway, the day of the high school entrance examination is not far away. At that time, if you can get into a good university, it's not too late to talk about retirement. Kung Pao chicken, it's delicious. China Planetary Association. Shu Jie pushed the door and walked in. This is where the federal currency is consumed to exchange planetary resources. No matter what kind of practice. Still high tech. Almost everything can be bought here. But it is definitely not as strong as system exchange. Just the origin of the world here. The system does not. Come to the front desk. Shu Jie asked. Hello, I want 10 copies of the origin of the world. There is still 1 month before the college entrance examination. He has already thought about it. This world will have 7 to 10 planetary expeditions. 10 copies. The front desk was a little surprised. You must know that the amount of a copy of the world origin is 5 million federal dollars. 10 copies is 50 million. Sudden, she found that the person in front of her looked familiar. Are you Shu Jie from No. 8 middle school? She was surprised. Shu Jie was silent for a while. Are you so hot now? You are currently number 1 in Shanghai and Shenzhen. Just pay attention to the Chinese people who take the college entrance examination. Who doesn't know you yet? The front desk laughed. Then, she handed 10 copies of the origin of the world to Shu Jie. You must work hard in the college entrance examination. Glorify our China region. Cheers at the front desk. Today the world as a whole. Therefore, the college entrance examination is also a global unified examination. The ranking of the college entrance examination is not only about individuals. It's even about the prestige of each region. I'll do my best. Shu Ning smiled. Although the Planetary Association still has a lot of good things. But he didn't take a second look. These are not at the same level as those in your own system panel. Just as he was about to leave, a cylinder next to him caught his footsteps. The latest eco-maintenance cabin. Little brother. Don't look at it, this one is too expensive and needs more than 10 million. You can buy a villa in Shanghai and Shenzhen. A middle-aged uncle next to him looked at Shu Jie with a little fascination. Advise. He didn't pay attention to the college entrance examination, and naturally he didn't know Shu Jie. Waiter. This machine, I have it. Shu Jie said lightly. Okay, sir. What's your address? We have the fastest home delivery service. The female salesperson was a little surprised though. But professionalism told her, the deal is the most important thing. Qingqing Home. Qingqing Home, isn't that the famous slum in Shanghai and Shenzhen? Can you still afford this machine? Wait and see how you end up. A playful smile appeared on the middle-aged uncle's face. Swipe your card. Without password, Shu Jie handed out the gold card. The saleswoman and the middle-aged uncle were instantly shocked. Cards of this color, only big bosses with over 100 million assets can own them. The man in front of him is just a young man. Okay, sir. The female salesman was stunned for a while, then reacted instantly. Drop. Consumption is successful. Amount of 10 million yuan. With the POS machine comes out the mechanical prompt tone. The female salesperson just understood. It turned out that the person in front of him was dressed in ordinary clothes, except for the handsome young man. Turned out to be a rich man. Gentlemen, the courier will deliver the machine in 2 hours. Please sign for it. Correct. Because you have become our star VIP with this purchase, after registering here, all props will enjoy a 20% discount. The saleswoman explained. No, I go first. Xu Jie didn't look down on the props of the Planetary Association at all. Naturally too lazy to take the time to register as a member. But in the eyes of female sales, Xu Jie's big name registration has undoubtedly taken it to a new level. There were stars in her eyes. This must be a good money lord. After an hour, jingle, the doorbell rang. After opening the door, an exquisite machine appeared in front of him. Mr. Xu Jie, please sign for it, the courier said. His face was full of envy. This is the sustaining ability of the most high-end. Are you good, Zhao? One can easily buy 10 houses in Qingqing home. 80% of the time, it's some kind of shit luck, right? It's coming in an hour. It seems that the Planetary Association service is okay. Okay, thank you. After greeting the courier, he pushed the maintenance gun in and politely thanked him. Xu Jie entered it. Premium goods are different. The entire waist structure is bionic, constructed according to the human body curve. Make him feel very comfortable. Enter the awakening space. Xu Jie first came to the Machinery Federation. Victor is doing research. After the last confrontation with technological civilization, he was immersed in the world of atoms. Only 1.5. Even a genius like him. It is also impossible to understand what is going on with atoms and molecules. Have you ever thought about what constitutes the primitive world is? Xu Jie looked at Victor. Has been studying, not so, then verbally warned. Ancestors. Victor hesitated slightly. Put down the man. Origin of the world is the matter. It is a wide variety of substances that constitute the world. And we alchemists, you need to do is understand the material, decomposing matter, then construction material. Victor replied. Then you have not thought about, all the elements constituting the substance are the same. Xu Jie issued ethereal, sacred sound. Consistent. Victor surprised. This argument broke his awareness. Fusion of light elements from stars, heavy elements from supernova explosions. They are all elements of the original hydrogen and later a bomb. Kazakhstan has the elements. We can say that all atoms are hydrogen fusion to come. This is also Xu Jie want to tell Victor. As he cannot comprehend. To see his good luck. Yes, to comprehend this, you'll alchemy further sophisticated. I can only say it again. Things primitive atoms and is void. Atomic particle of matter is, the void is the place to atomic motion. Xu Jie finish, stop talking. For Victor such a genius. Go beyond that, so that his own perception, but better. Atom, means that the atoms cannot be separated. That is a matter for each theory is a substance composed of. Alchemy, alchemy, Victor suddenly, with the development of alchemy in Zon planet, people began to discover the nature of matter. So more and more people on the Midas touch skeptical. Even the Philosopher's Stone, there are a lot of people think. Is the Philosopher's Stone inside stone wrapped in gold elements? To stone gilded, rather than real gold. But now, Victor understand, not the material elements cannot be changed. As long as the stone into atomic state, it can be used stone atoms, a combination of gold atoms. Xu Jie body BBDA as the main planet. Victor could see the idea. Stones can indeed constitute gold by splitting atoms. But this is too difficult. Since the smallest atom is not present, in which protons, neutrons, and electrons also play a key role. But if the iron into gold are much simpler, because they constitute protons of gold and iron atoms, neutrons, and electrons, and no difference. It appears that you have some perception. You understand the direction is right. But have a little correct that. Now, I give you a reward, last battle reward. Then, a pool of green and viscous liquid, fall into the container Victor table. Thanks, ancestors reward. Victor was excited. Some communication. It gave him a deeper understanding of alchemy. Ancestors are indeed amazing beings. Ames Doris. Wenger is conducting experimental research. Shi Jiao was also standing beside him. Wenger, you said you had good news. Is this your good news? Kizuki looked at the peas in front of him with some confusion. Just some ordinary plants. Can be anything special. Wenger explained. Your Majesty, don't underestimate these peas. They reveal the mysteries of life. I had doubts a long time ago. Why shimmering potions, radiation can change the human body, making them more powerful. Now I finally understand. After Shi Jiao heard it. Think carefully. That's what you learned from these peas. That's right. I conducted genetic experiments with peas and found that the inheritance of traits follows special laws of nature. Purple-flowered peas and white-flowered peas are crossed, and the seeds they bear are planted, and the flowers are purple. But these peas with purple flowers, after being propagated by fonts, bear ground peas, and after planting, the flowers that come out are white and purple. After, my statistics found that the ratio of purple flowers to white flowers is 3:1, which means that 1 out of every 4 pea shoots is white. I call purple a dominant trait and white a recessive trait. I found out. Humans actually follow this rule. Then, Wenger took out a list. These are the offspring of those who were given elemental senses by their ancestors. Among them, people with the talent of element perception are invisible, and ordinary people are dominant. In these families, the combined ratio of those who produce talent and those who fail to produce talent is exactly 1:3. In other words, all living beings are actually obeying this law. Wenger finished his research. Shu Jie was shocked when he heard it. Unexpectedly, Wenger reached the threshold of genetics through radiation mutation. As expected of a goblin tinkerer, your research is very meaningful. At this moment, a pea opened its mouth and started to speak. Faced with such a strange situation, Shi Jiao was very calm. Ancestor, she asked quietly. Wenger, who was on the side, took off his hat and saluted the peas. This is because all living things have something in common in their bodies. What? The two asked at the same time. The mission of an alchemist is to explore the future. Nothing is more attractive to two people than unknown knowledge. Genes support the basic structure and properties of life. Stores all the information about the race, blood type, gestation, growth, apoptosis and other processes of life. To use a very simple analogy, the reason why you can make synthetic beasts is that you have fused human genes with those of beasts, so that the body has changed. Shu Jie explained. Wenger and Kizuki were shocked. A lot of things that I didn't understand were solved. Such as the birth of the flask villain. This is the reward for your last battle, please accept it. A ray of light fell from the sky. A strange machine appeared in front of the two of them. Record, you spend 3 million points to exchange for an optical microscope. Record, you put in an optical microscope, and Amerstorius was born. Synthetic biology. Rejuvenating. Alchemy room. Dry is nursed back to health and harmony. The last campaign also left his body in no small wounds. And, he gradually found, Dance Cyclone is derived from Rainbow Sword, it is independent of the other Rainbow Sword. A sword. 7 swords does not belong to the system, it has to be independent of internal organs. Heart own. Dance of the Cyclone, last resort. World with life. Power can be Armageddon, very powerful. But at the same time, Yun Foot 10 successful use of force would have been a whirlwind dance of the sword back to bite them to death. Heaven and earth with life. Only life is not your own. Donkey hide. Indeed the ultimate sword, but the practice is still dry. Unlike October, he did not want to live longer. Leaving a legacy is his vision. Compared been living in this world. Kai as he imagined. I have no heart, can only seeding, fearless, no regrets, can only send and receive freely, person sword could end up conquering. Boom. A sword, 450. Chenghong miles. Visions of heaven and earth. Finally became. Dance of the strongest cyclone sword, world with life. Although the use of the death. But he regrets. Your spirit, I appreciate. Right now, an ethereal, divine voice appeared above him. Ancestors. Dry flew down on one knee. With great power comes great responsibility. I sacrifice, I fulfill big. Your mind awareness is high, but the method was not quite right. Shu Jie said lightly. Hearing these words, Dry suddenly anxious. He quickly asked, we look to the guidance of the ancestors. while rejuvenating alchemy flourished. But there has been a serious problem. That is sectarianism. In addition to the family as a unit, alchemy male, female, do not pass outside the entry pass. This is not an open environment also led to the split of rejuvenating come this far. Shu Jie explained. Due to cultural property. In fact, he rejuvenating, it is most concerned about. As rejuvenating is a homebody agricultural civilization. Starting Kai Tai, on the popular concept of the clan. In order to continue the family survive. Certain skills was modeled after a well-known or isolated with outsiders. In such a culture everything he knows. Rejuvenating the alchemy cannot form a system development. Dry Emperor what intelligent, he soon wanted to understand the concept of it. Ancestors, I understand, but even with my power of one person, rejuvenating want to change people's thinking, it is not likely. Dry with a sigh, knowledge, wisdom, as long as people awaken, social climate will change. I now give you the last battle reward. It can help you. A burst of white light appeared in front of the stem. A piece of paper in front of Dry. This is, he instantly shocked. Also indulge in the content of the paper. In fact, the piece of paper. Just a new education system. Assigned to juvenile teenagers, young, adult. To screen people through 4 stages. And Imperial College will be the heritage, research, innovation and alchemical fusion of academic institutions of higher learning. Rather than change those people wrought idea. Why do not change the doll from the beginning? When the baby grow up, and rejuvenating will completely become another look. This is, junior strong, the country strong, young intellectual, the country wisdom, juvenile rich, then national wealth. Shu Jie finished, into silence. He can do only a guide. Specific have to see Dry determination. Youth are strong, the country strong. Dry muttered. Suddenly, he understood everything. The next day, above the hall, Baiguan kneeling on the ground. They are oil stick on officialdom. Obviously feeling some of today's emperor is not the same. Left Prime Minister, you're closest with the emperor, to talk about, is there something you want to publish? One product minister wearing a robe crane toward the left asked. Elder Kong, I don't know, let's see what His Majesty will say later. The Prime Minister left shook his head. He couldn't even guess what His Majesty was thinking. Dry though is the emperor. But at this time there was also some unease. He knows, if you say what comes next, it will definitely be opposed by the civil and military officials of the Manchu dynasty. But there is no way. Only in this way, to save the country. To make the country strong. He remembered the words of his ancestors. Sin is in the present, merit is in the future. Be the sinner of this world. After a moment, civil and military officials were shocked. Your Majesty can't. The left and right prime ministers stood up immediately. As the head of the 100 officials, they represent the interests of all clans. Your Majesty, by doing this, you are digging the roots of our clan. If you do this, our clan will perish. Other ministers also jointly opposed. The alliance has been decided. Don't talk too much. Dry said firmly. The ministers sighed, but no one dared to object. Because Gonkei beheaded 21 princes to sit on this throne. He is also known as the Scarlet Tyrant. Night falls. 6 swords appeared beside Gon. His Majesty, the 6 swords said respectfully in unison. Recently, some ministers have reported returning home, so I'll ask you to escort them. Cold and Dry, Your Majesty, is the Prime Minister Zuo also escorting him? One of them asked. Dry nodded heavily. Shu Jie nodded in relief. He did not live up to his expectations. His character is somewhat similar to that of Qi's son, the eldest Prince Chen. All for the purpose, unscrupulous ghosts. Of course, the era does not need ghosts. More heroes are needed, but now it's the opposite. As a hero, he will use iron and blood to make Xinguo change into a different appearance. A month later, Xinguo set off a rebellion. History is known as the 8 Kings Rebellion. Every prince is a powerhouse at the Pill Emperor level. Face this rebellion. Do the royal driving. Cheng Hong's sword came out. Blood-stained Kyushu. God, you are a mere Pill Emperor, dare to resist us. The 8th prince stood in front of the formation and smiled. I didn't expect that my confidant, 6 swords, could be tricked into 5 swords by you. You guys are really disappointing. After he finished speaking, he looked at Wujian who was standing. The 5 swords collectively frowned. Good birds choose wood to perch, Your Majesty, your decree caused turmoil in the world, and we are also for the common people. Yu Huijian said lightly. Take the move, come on, Yu Huijian, the 16th move, heavy rain. Yu Huijian jumped up. The heavens and the earth produced a vision, the thunder roared, and the rain poured down. Lian originally wanted to live longer. It doesn't seem necessary. Cheng, you are optimistic. Your enemy is never outside the court, but inside the court. Even if you are an emperor, no exception. After he finished speaking, he smiled lightly. Pull out the rainbow sword. Father, what are you going to do? Cheng is only a 14-year-old boy. But he had a premonition that something bad was about to happen. Very well, you are all here. It just so happens that I will clean up you all at once. Ice Soul Sword, I will ask you to take care of my son. Cheng Hong, Sword, Fire Dance Whirlwind, Heaven and Earth live together. After he finished speaking, he waved the long rainbow sword. The sword light soared to the sky. Energy riot, a sharp sword energy. From the sky, its light coming, overwhelmingly shoots away at the opponent. Xu Jie looked at the battlefield. A generation of emperors do, Dao disappears and perishes. He had no plans to bring it back to life. Dry away. It is the best help for Xinguo. His tyranny ended the hidden danger of rejuvenating the country for many years. Now, Xinguo will once again usher in the era of heroes. 2 years later, Mechanical Federation. Singed and Victor watched the green liquid bubbling in the pool. These years, we've been working on this pool of liquid. But still haven't figured out what it is. Singed said. This substance seems to have some kind of spiritual tendency. It can mimic the type of stimulation it receives. If you are caring and friendly to it, it will respond with the joy and playfulness of a child. But if it is painful and provoked, the alchemists have to sacrifice a large number of prosthetic enhanced ditch scavengers to deal with the subsequent destructive reaction. Victor explained. After thorough research, he finally had some understanding of the laws of liquid movement. I doubt it's alive, Victor said suddenly. Life. Singed was stunned. Yes, maybe we can use it to develop a fighter who is not afraid of death, has a deformable body, is pervasive, and is obedient. Victor mused. Singed, this task is handed over to you. I'm going to continue my research on atoms. I heard that Amestorius has a magical machine that can see the microscopic world. If I can borrow it, it will be very helpful to my research. Victor said as he walked and left the laboratory. Singed was a little helpless and spread his hands. He was only interested in human experiments. Harriman, Walter. At this time, 2 alchemists entered. You are in charge of studying this pool of liquid. Remember, to train him to be the best warrior. Singed finished. Also left the laboratory. The 2 alchemists were left behind. A week later, Professor Watt, I found that this glob of viscose not only mimics the response to stimuli. And, there's also autonomous behavior in the absence of obvious stimuli. Harriman looked at the researcher next to him and said, Professor Harriman, do you mean to say that this green goo is actually a living thing? Walter quickly understood what Harriman meant. That's right. We can call him Zack. What do you think of the name? Zack. Good. The 2 began to discuss. Zack is a thinking, feeling entity. He wasn't supposed to be a war machine. Watt said. Harriman nodded slowly. Maybe we can educate him the way we educate a child. In the days thereafter, the 2 begin a covert operation. For example, in front of Zack, kill the guinea pig. The guinea pig let out a scream, like showing Zack a video of the war. And the funeral scene. They want Zack to tell right from wrong. Obviously, their efforts paid off. Zack sees these scenes. There will be anxiety. Ha 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 ha. The 2 fellows watched the comedy movie with Zack and laughed happily. Right now, Victor brought someone in. Behind him, followed by a team of mechanical warriors. What are you doing? What I need is an emotionless war machine. Not a toy. Victor was a little angry. Human emotion. In his view, it is the existence of tasteless. Now, the behavior of these 2 researchers has undoubtedly violated his bottom line. Give me arrest both of them, Victor said to the soldiers behind him. Harriman and Walter were shocked. If this is caught, Must be subjected to cruel human experiments. Just when the mechanical warrior was approaching, Zack stood up. It is a wave. Moment, arm extended all the way across to knock a fighter. A squad of soldiers, machinery. It is not a rival. It is easy to solve. Indeed, the ancestors of reward. If tamed properly, it must be perfect war machine. Victor, excited. Third hand behind him, began accumulator. Professor Victor, you caught me. Do not hurt it. Harriman stood out. Waters then also stood out. Violate my bottom line. It is a capital offense. I tried to solve the two of you. Victor, no feelings. They did not care about the plea. Burning laser toward the two men, shot to go. Right now. Zack came like a pinball, people. Dangxia laser. I forbid you to hurt them. Zack said painfully. At the same time, its body changes. From green to red, if it has a more powerful force. Red. Zack, do not be afraid, laser burning. It went step by step in front of Victor. Live his neck. Zack, come on, be a good boy. Harriman quickly to appease it. Appease gradually from the results. Zack had kept shaking shoulders, and stopped. It let go of his hands. Victor breathed a few mouthfuls, of course. After a while he said quietly, it seems that man's feelings, to some extent, can help this creature. I approve. You can later in their own way, be it for training. Since then, Zack wandering in the city. Ground pipeline system and rock fracture is nearly endless, his dedicated channel. He intervened to help those who suffer oppression and bullying the weak against the strong feeling of the street bully. Become defenders of justice. Villa Blue Star, Shanghai and Shenzhen City, Kong Bay. Set in a luxury villa. Here is a Principal Dinglo home. He is at this time of examination. Development results Diangjua Way. Good. Planet area has increased 1,000 kilometers, which in the same batch, should be the first. Dinglo praise road. Then what's the use? I beat Li Qingshuang, but cannot deal with Xu Jie. He failed the Diangjua Way, a change in arrogance. Now he has become somewhat confident. Ah Wei, do not look down on their own. Li Qingshuang, just some special attacks, after a clear understanding of the risk, is not great. As for the Xu Jie, this time he estimated worry about things. Dinglo Yin Camp laughs. What happened? Dang Zuowei, some doubts. You know, the first 3 mode. What reward is not it? Dinglo laughed. What is it? God class props. That's right, that is my props, specially selected. Specific use, only I know. But I did not tell him. If used improperly, it will be insanity, full of desire to destroy. Dinglo's sinister laugh. In his eyes, who gets puddle of liquid, it will become the culture war machine. Then the consequences will be devastating. But he did not know. Zack has been trained to love warrior. P.S. Zon star rating segments. Xinguo, Dan Tong, Dan Tu, Dan Shi, Dan Division, Wang Dan, Dan Wang, Wer Dan, Dan Respect, Holy Dan, Dan Emperor. Amy Siduoli C. Class B Tempered Array, Civilian, a Class Make Array, Army S Class Tempered Array, State Alchemist. Machinery Federation. Rely on alchemical science and technology, there is no classification. Ames Doris. National Alchemy Laboratory. Wenger slumped in front of the electron microscope. Since owning this machine, he is completely immersed in micro-official things. At this time, he was looking at the genes of Spider-Man Peter Parker. In the past 2 years with an electron microscope, he has done numerous genetic studies. Finally, got a clue. Wenger, you let me come over. Say, your new discovery. I don't know when. Kizuki stood behind him. Wenger straightened up quickly. He pulled up a gene fragment and explained, as far as I'm guessing, species are actually constantly evolving. During its long evolutionary history, the big, ineffective junk genes are starting to appear and take over the body of the species. Every species has some parts that don't work at all, it's just a burden. That's the junk genes at work. Under the action of the shimmering agent, the second gene began to integrate into the blank space of the biological gene chain. So werewolves are more perfect than ordinary humans. But the Spider-Man created by the ancestors is more perfect. That is because, talking, Wenger once again called out another picture. I saw that there were actually 3 gene chains of different colors on the display. Isn't the biological gene chain can only add a second gene at most? Why are there 3? Shijiao also saw that there were some problems with the gene chain. It's simple, because the ancestors expanded the gene chain and added a third gene to make it a more powerful life form. Wenger explained with some pride, although he didn't do it all. But he was proud of himself for discovering them. Such an achievement has surpassed the once first goblin craftsman, Warby alchemist. Xu Jie was also slightly surprised. Unexpectedly, Wenger really has 2 brushes. This is something that I don't understand. It was thoroughly researched by him. Just unravel the mystery. As for the art of life refining, Amestoris will be more diligent. Maybe it's time. Start a battle. 1 year later. Xu Jie stood on the planet of Zan. Today, the 3 countries have further increased in size and more prosperous populations. Although there is often friction between them. But there are few big battles. This is also the Trinity Church, in which it plays a role. He waved. Planet information appears on the interface. Planet name, Zan. Area, 3,500 kilometers in diameter. Environment, 5% of the radiation area, 90% of the livable environment, 5% of the spiritual place. Intelligent life, ordinary humans. Civilization level, 1. Civilization type, Alchemy civilization. Planet ranking, not on the list. Strength, Xinguo. Dan King, 100. Dan Emperor, 20. Dan Zong, 3. Edmund Alloy Warrior, 35. Creation Pilot, 25. Mechanical Federation. Mechanical Ascender, 1. Cyborg, 1. Gutter Vaporizer, 25. Hex Sniper, 18. Beast Warrior, 25. Biochemical Demon, 5. Amestoris. Artificial Superpowers, 4. Fullmetal Alchemist of Steel, 1. Fullmetal Alchemist of Silver, 1. Alchemist of Space, 1. Alchemist of Fire, 1. The Ice Alchemist, 1 person. The Fate Alchemist, 1 person. The Iron-Blooded Alchemist, 1 person. The Gout Alchemist, 1 person. The Red Lotus Alchemist, 1 person. The Crystalline Alchemist, 1. Void, 1. The size of the planet has increased by 700 kilometers. What the hell is a spiritual place? Xu Jie was a little puzzled. He looked at the planet of Zan. Soon some understand. It turns out that with the expansion of the planet, some venues began to appear rich aura. However, Xu Jie's planet is not a civilization of immortal cultivation. Reiki may also be useful for rejuvenating the country. Strength. As usual, only show the highest combat power. Xingguo's New Deal quickly paid off. After all, sects have swept away their stereotypes. Alchemy has made rapid progress. Danzong all began to appear. Mechanical Federation. Then there are 5 more biochemical demons. The biochemical devil has a very strong fighting power. And they can also decide the upper limit of combat power according to their emotions. But when those closest to them are hurt, even the mechanical ascender victor is not an opponent. This side of Amestoris, 3 artificial superpowers appeared. After unlocking the secrets of genes, Wenger also began to try to integrate the 3rd gene. After several failures, it really made him successful. These 3 artificial superpowers, they are Mantis Girl, Wind Speed Man, and Phoenix. Among them, Mantis Girl's superpowers are the most diverse. She can communicate with plants and sense each other's thoughts and emotions through touch. It can also transfer life forms, launch energy explosions, form energy fields, and more. However, her attack is relatively weak, mainly based on auxiliary. Wind Speed Man. His abilities are like his name. He possesses the ability to move at superhuman speed. At his full strength, a Wind Speed Man can run at 200 km per hour for an hour until his body gets tired. The last one is the Phoenix. She is also a female superpower. Her body can generate heat and flame, as well as control these molecules with precision. This allows her to create heat waves, fire, marries, explosions, and control flame structures. She can also create high winds by manipulating the air temperature. And she is immune to fire and heat, and can mentally control any heat or flames near her. The most amazing thing is, she has an immortal body, can survive in a vacuum, poison and radiation cannot hurt her. So it is also called the Phoenix. Current combat power. Attacking a low to mid-range planet shouldn't be a big problem, right? He's not arrogant enough to attack mid-range planets. Because mid-range planets are generally at level 2 civilizations. Xu Jie thought for a moment to open the planet interface. At this point, 2 options appear. 1. Free choice. 2. Random delivery. Familiar options appear. He pondered for a moment and chose to place it randomly. A few years later, the army of the three kingdoms reunited again. Looking at the Shinguo army, Kizuki was a little sad. Anyway, Gon is also her brother. And the two have fought side by side. Aunt Cheng came over and bowed respectfully. Cheng, you are still young. Let your uncle do it for you. Kizuki looked at the young Cheng and said slowly. Cheng shook his head, then walked back to the Shinguo camp. He is a king of a generation. Nature has its own decision. This son will become a great man in the future. Kizuki looked at his back and couldn't help but admire. Gon is a great emperor. It's a pity that he died at such a young age. If he is willing to listen to me, perform a mechanical ascension. Maybe it won't come this far. Victor looked at Cheng's back and sighed. The world channel begins to appear. Everyone was excited. Each battle can bring them a lot of harvest. So this time, what is it? Shu Jie watched as the army entered the passage. Can't help but look forward to it. Record. The passage for your people to enter the world. Record. Your people enter the planet of one god. Record. The will of the universe will give corresponding rewards according to the performance of your people. God. Shu Jie frowned. Through this name, he seems to feel what kind of world this is. And this planet, it's a master planet. Cheng, Kizuki, and Victor stood side by side on the mountain. Look at this strange land. Queen Kizuki, Mr. Victor, have you heard any strange noises? Cheng asked the two of them. Although he and Kizuki are relatives. But aunt is only suitable for private address. After all, the two countries represent different countries. Kizuki and Victor pricked up their ears. Soon, they also heard a faint voice. Om Mani Ba Hum. This sound, very ethereal, gives you a feeling of being out of your body. The three of them couldn't help but close their eyes and began to savor it. Don't get addicted to it. This kind of voice will brainwash people and make you unknowingly become slaves of this planet. Crucial moment. Shu Jie spoke to remind. The three suddenly realized. Immediately after a while of fear. That sound is really scary. Fortunately, the ancestor reminded me. Otherwise we'll all be planted in. The three talked. Be prepared to tread carefully. At the same time, they also made up a set of formulas for the soldiers to recite silently to resist the Sanskrit. Peter Parker, you go to explore the intelligence. Kizuki asked Peter Parker to lead Spider-Man on intelligence work first. Peter Parker nodded. Then, the spider silk was launched, floating in the forest, and heading into the distance. He is extremely fast. Get out of the forest soon. But he saw hell. The skeletons are like pity, and the bones are like forests. Human hair is in pieces, and human skin is rotten into dust. Human tendons are wrapped around the tree, and Yu Jiao is shining like silver. What is this place? It's terrifying too. There were quite a few Spider-Men beside me, and my scalp felt numb. Take it easy. We're just looking for information. Peter Parker comforted the crowd. Look, there is a castle next to it. One of the Spider-Men pointed to the front and said. Peter Parker looked down where his fingers were. Only see there. Sure enough, there is a castle. And the smoke inside loves. It seems like someone is home. I'm going alone. You wait. This place in front of me is really dangerous. Just in case. Peter Parker let the others stay put first. After entering the city, he walked towards the highest point in the city. According to theory, higher place. BBDA, more information. Vibration tower. Tower top. An old monk is meditating. If someone else hears this vow, the king, once it is heard in the ear, all the merits obtained will be less than 1%, 1000% less than 1%, and even less than 1% of Upanishad. Zen sound came out of his mouth. A golden halo appeared behind him. It looks divine. Sudden, he opened his eyes. It's demonic. He frowned. Who? Come out. Ha 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 ha. After a burst of laughter. An eagle appeared on the windowsill at the top of the tower. Jinpeng, you are not in the corpse forest, what are you doing here? Lord, I have sensed the invasion from the outside world. I hope we can gather and deal with it together. Eagle said coldly. Good, hold on, I will lead 800 bhikkhunis to help out. The old monk said lightly. Beast, where to run? Just when the eagle wanted to fly away, a young monk broke in. Great power Tianlong, the great law of law. Prajna Buddhas, Prajna Ba is empty. The young monk stretched out his hand. A translucent golden hand holds the eagle firmly. Empty sea. Let go. The old monk was very angry. Abbot, what are you doing? This evil animal cannibalize countless people and harm the common people. I will make it upright. Not only did Kong Hai not let go, but he held it even tighter. Zan Tian, master, take care of your apprentice. It hurts my uncle. Jin Peng shouted in a hurry. Humph. Zan Tian picked up the Vajra and instantly interrupted Kakai's move. Gahaha. In the end, it is a pure place for Buddhism. We will meet again later. Jin Peng let out a sinister laugh, flapped his wings, and disappeared from the eyes of the two of them. Master, why did you let him go? Kakai asked. Empty sea. Maybe it's time to tell you the real secret of Buddhism. Zan Tian sighed. Start talking slowly. And Peter Parker outside the tower heard everything clearly. He just understood. It turned out to be a horrible hell not far away. It turned out to be let out by foemen. They create these intimidating things, and people fill their hearts with awe. In this way, Buddhism can have more power of faith. It is despicable. Peter Parker's heart was on fire. He can't wait to rush in now and kill these virtuous people. But he quickly restrained himself. My identity is a scout, not a soldier. A Zen planet. A phantom looked at Dalian Temple in the air. He is also a senior in high school. Now his planet has an area of more than 500 to 0 kilometers in diameter. When developed enough, it will come off the original Star Ball protective film. But he didn't think so. Just got out of the novice village. They were robbed. 1,000. No matter which kid it is. He Luo Lang also let him go back and forth. Above the Mahavira Hall, many monks gathered together. They all looked towards the center. What a Buddhist monk. He is among all. A person who has awakened. Is the only Arhat. Lord Buddha has given orders. We should be united. Drive the invaders out of the one God planet. Fuhu Arhat saw that all the monks had arrived. Start delivering Roland's orders. If you disturb the pure place of Buddhism, I will not forgive you lightly. Don't be lighthearted. Don't be lighthearted. Led by one of the monks. The atmosphere was at its peak. Every monk is full of fighting spirit. The monks inside are really hypocritical, and they are also a pure place for Buddhism. Jin Peng laughed disdainfully outside. Third brother, don't talk too much. If they hear it, another beating. A white elephant Jing trembled and persuaded. Second brother, you are too much. Third brother, your true temperament, what do you say? Big brother, I will obey you. The blue lion next to him said. Brother, I heard not long ago. Your brother, the lion monster has been caught. It's wet. Qing Shi was stunned for a moment. Instantly more honest. He looked at Jin Peng and said, Brother, they are hypocritical, we just know it, there is no need to say it. Allied forces of the three kingdoms, Cheng, Kizuki, and Victor get together to check the information. Too cruel. In order to enhance the power of belief, this method was used. Where are these people? The Buddha who crossed people, they are clearly monsters who eat people. It's also a good thing that we attack this planet. Yes, according to what they say, the merit is boundless. Everyone quickly came to an agreement. That is, the people of this planet must be resolved as soon as possible. Xu Jie frowned. His eyes gradually became sharper. Although the people of the planet are the private property of the planet master. But so, the planet lord of the grass-swept human life. It was the first time he met. This made his hidden heart be moved. Destroy all monks and demons on this planet. He watched the three give orders. At the same time, he took out 3 copies of the Origin of the World. Record, you consume 3 copies of the World Origin to exchange for the soul rope. Record, this expedition is a battle to the death. Record, the winner will get the ownership of the other planet. The moment when the soul-sucking cable came out, Roland was also surprised. Asterisk 15 million federal coins, you and I will never die. Good, I take it. In fact, it is a forced duel. Even if he wanted to refuse, there was no way. On the wilderness, Buddha's light shines. Sanskrit sounds all over the sky. Countless monks stood in front of the three kingdom allied forces. A war is imminent. Om Mani Ba Hum. Stronger than before, Sanskrit began to appear. The minds of many soldiers were instantly affected. The eyes began to drift away. Cheer up. Recite the ancestral formula. Cheng roared. The soldiers suddenly realized. They all started to chant. So I know that the South Mo Gatling machine gun is a great gun, a supreme gun, an unparalleled gun, and it can remove all suffering. It's true. Therefore, when we say the mantra of the Gatling machine gun in Nanmo, we say the mantra, Namo Gatling Bodhisattva, 6 pure depleted uranium bombs. Namo Gatling Bodhisattva, 3,600 turns in one breath, great mercy and compassion to save the world. The allied forces of the three kingdoms had 150,000 troops. And there are only 100,000 monks. They are numerous. For a while, the Sanskrit sound was suppressed. Roland was shocked. What scripture is this? It was even more powerful than his inheritance. Many monks have already begun to be affected. Fuhu Luohan. He quickly gave orders to his strongest combat power. Humph. Fuhu Luohan snorted coldly. Instant golden light sword. All the monks woke up in an instant. Fear. What was that scripture just now? Stronger than our great compassion mantra. Maybe that is the true meaning of Buddha. Don't talk. Don't talk. Although the monks woke up. But the heart was greatly shocked. There is also a little doubt about belief. Some highly skilled superiors have noticed this. If not at this time at war. Then those rambunctious monks. Inevitably a pain in the flesh. But there is still a battle. Just don't punish them. A bunch of bald heads. Let me clean them up. Victor, as always, likes to play up front. Under his command. Boom. Countless shells smashed forward like raindrops. The Buddha's light shines. Fuhu Luohan shouted loudly. In front of the monk in an instant. A golden shield appears. That holy light. Block all attacks successfully. My firepower is more than that. Then a giant gun was lifted up. This is a hex vinyl gun. It is the strongest Hextech product. It's in addition to terrifying physical destruction capabilities. It is also extremely chemically corrosive. Boom. Hex vinyl gun for energy storage. One shot. The golden protective cover was obviously broken. Then, the dreaded vinyl trichlorosilane came into play. Countless monks let out screams. Victor smiled. It seems the planet. Not so much. Roland was a little surprised. But his planet is more than that. Even though he only has 100,000 monks. But when necessary, humans of the entire planet can become his fighting power. Gather. The power of faith. For a time, images of the battlefield were cast in every corner of the planet. Look, there are planets that invade us from outside. Elder Jing Si saved my daughter. Come on, Elder Jing Si. Master Wei Neng and Master Kongjing are also fighting. Let's lend them our strength. Countless golden fluorescent lights came from all directions. Broken shields are instantly repaired. Those monks who were burned by ethylene trichlorosilane healed at a speed visible to the naked eye. The power of faith. Shu Jie frowned. Unexpectedly, this planet really has two brushes. In this case, faced by the three-nation coalition, will not be 100,000 monks, but all humans on the entire planet. Have to say, the planet master of this planet has some tricks. He used the means of swindling to fool mortals. For example, if the Lord blesses you, you will be able to avoid suffering. Or reincarnation, coupled with attacking the demon clan, saving the common people, and establishing a positive image. This is simply a master of marketing. The way to crack is also very simple. It is to let the collective belief of mortals collapse. But the method is simple, but the operation is extremely difficult. Shu Jie will break the law and tell Kizuki. Among this group of people, she is the smartest. Kizuki thought for a moment. Call a man and a woman in front of you. 4 or 5, 0 wind speed people, Mantis sister. I have something important to leave to you. Look at the figure of Feng Shui and Mantis girl leaving. Shi Jiao nodded slowly. The wind speed people have super fast speed and can collect evidence in the shortest time. The Mantis sister can communicate with people. In this way, those mortals who have been deceived will believe the evidence in front of them. Bluestone City. An ordinary family. Old Man Li is praying in the courtyard. Pass on the power of your own beliefs to monks in the distance. Female. You child, why don't you pray? You forgot, but Elder Jingxi saved your life at the beginning. Old Man Li was really angry. He didn't know how he raised a white-eyed wolf girl. Oops. Old Man Li saw that he could not persuade his daughter. Then he recited the Buddhist scriptures in his mouth faster. I hope that my sins can be alleviated. Right now. 2 strangers were born in the courtyard. Li Laohan, who was obsessed with prayer, did not find this person. Do not be afraid. I'm in the same mood as you. Sister Mantis said. She holds the woman's hands. For a moment, countless emotions entered her mind. Child, it turns out you've been through so many tragic things. You should tell the truth, not hide it in your heart. Sister Mantis persuaded. The girl in front of her was really pitiful. It turns out that Elder Jingxi covets her beauty. Collusion with monsters. Then in the name of exorcism, inflict multiple assaults on her. Woo, I can't say it, no one will believe it. The woman cried, and she shook her head in denial. Believe me, it's different now, everyone will believe what you say. Sister Mantis said softly. At the same time, her superpowers activate. A woman's trust in her increased by 200%. Good. I say. The woman wipes away tears. At this moment, she seems to have changed. What? All this is done by Elder Jingxi. You're not lying. Li Laohan is a devout believer. In his heart, Elder Jingxi is bright and great. How could it be possible to do such a thing as a male thief and a female prostitute? This is the proof. The wind speed man appeared in front of him. Take out a blood-stained garment. Have to say, Elder Jingxi is really a pervert. He likes to collect these. Take this as nostalgia. This is the little girl's clothes. Old man Li recognized it. A room. What did he understand? God, Elder Jingxi, I didn't play with you. Something like that, happening in other people. More and more women who have been bullied have come forward. Elder Jingxi's true face was completely revealed. The people of Qingxi City. This was discovered. The Buddha that I have always believed in. It turned out to be a group of despicable people worshipping. The energy of belief in the sky above Bluestone City disappeared. Bluestone City people completely defection. Wind man. We continue to the next city. Sister Mantis said. To be honest, she has received too much negative energy. I just feel like my brain is going to explode. But more so. Instead, she felt that the burden on her was getting heavier. She must completely uncover the hypocrisy of these people. Flying cloud Buddha fingers. A monk flew up. The golden light of his fingers skyrocketed. A golden laser shot out of his finger. Opposite a beautiful woman, she pierced in an instant. Pity. If you are willing to take refuge in my Buddha, that's not the case. Amitabha. He looked up and down after the discovery. This woman actually has a bit of beauty. For a moment, the heart is rising. Just when he was about to touch, a strong hand grabbed him. I am immortal, the woman said lightly. What? The monk was shocked to know, just now. The woman in front of you. But it was directly pierced between the eyebrows by Feiyan Buddha's finger. Ah, the monk screamed. His hand is being spun at 360 by the phoenix. Lord Buddha, why Lord Buddha not cure me? He was surprised. The energy that healed his wounds disappeared out of thin air. He looked to the sky. It dawned on me. The power of the people's faith. I don't know when, but it's all gone. Without the power of faith, the allied forces of the 3 kingdoms were in tatters. Like a wolf entering a flock. Screams, one after another on the battlefield. How is this possible? This is impossible. Roland was shocked. Under his rule, the people have long been the most faithful believers. How could it not the power of faith? There will never break the lies. Use of deception to fool the people. Your actions will eventually make you suffer the consequences. A virtual shadow appear in front of him. Roland reacted. The phantom in front of him is the intruder. Go to die. Go to hell. He kept attacking the phantom. But it doesn't work at all. Planet invasion. Only planetary creatures can attack each other. Kill, 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 destroy them. In the distance, the fire was soaring into the sky. Do not know when. Countless mortals came to the battlefield. They led the people in the wind speed. I have discovered numerous evidence. In the face of hard facts, no one believes in Buddhism anymore. They spontaneously composed army. Come to the battlefield. You mortals, dare to resist me. I am the Lord your planet. Roland thundered furiously. The army of mortals. How can it be the opponent of the monks? Roland is crazy. He kept slaughtering his own people. But this did not suppress them. Deception for a long time ignited the deepest anger in their hearts. Edward, help them. Kizuki said to Edward next to him. Clear. The righteous Edward has long been unable to see it. He put his hands together. Demonstrate the formation of the formation. Good Edward was also angry. He did not use steel columns. Use a steel needle instead. A series of steel nails rushed out from the ground. Moment. A group of monks were directly stabbed to death. I was born to fight. The 5 biochemical demons also joined the ranks of the rebels. They are warriors with love in their hearts. Of course not watching mortals get slaughtered. What's this? No attack is more effective than it. Ah, the particularity of the biochemical devil's body. Protects them from all physical damage. Those monks were no match for them at all. His Majesty. At this time, Cheng clenched the Chenghong sword tightly. I want to come forward. Ice Soul Sword noticed his actions. Quickly stopped. Sister Si Ming, I have made up my mind. Although I only have the strength of King Dan. But the Chenghong sword can protect me. I am with you. The owner of the Ice Soul Sword is a woman in blue. She is dry confidant. Never betrayed him. No need to. These monks are not my opponents yet. King, you should practice on the battlefield. Instead of growing up under someone else's wings. Cheng said. Using the Chenghong sword technique, he rushed out. The battle gradually drew to a close. The only trouble at the moment is the Fuhu Arhat. The Buddhist hierarchy is divided into those who have been liberated and those who have not been liberated. There are 3 classes of those who have been liberated. Arhat, Bodhisattva, Buddha. Arhats are self-realized people. Fuhu Luohan knelt on one knee on the ground. Even if he was bruised and bruised, neither would give in. Suddenly he understood the true meaning of Buddha. A Bodhisattva is someone who is enlightened for himself and who makes others enlightened. A Buddha is a person who is consciously aware of him, and who is fully enlightened. For so long, I have always followed the guidance of the Lord. Use deception to gather faith. Although this can make Buddhism more prosperous. But obviously, this is a detour. At this time, a white light fell from the sky. It's Roland. He is using the power of the source to heal the body of Fuhu Arhat. Why not get treatment? Roland felt his scalp go numb. Continue like this. You will lose yourself. Boom. The golden light shot into the sky on Fuhu Luohan. His form changed. Not only did she look bigger, even more sacred. This is promoted to Bodhisattva. Roland was excited. The promotion of Buddhist civilization is different from other civilizations. As long as his people have an epiphany, they can go to the next level. Ha ha ha. Buddha, look how you beat me. Give it to me. Roland issued the order, but something magical happened. The Bodhisattva ignored his orders at all. Sit in place. Not moving at all. What happened? Give it to me. Roland began to order him directly with the will of the Planet Master. Such an instruction, but only 3 chances. But the Bodhisattva remained motionless. The Buddha shed tears. Let me end all this evil. Done. Buddha light began to appear on his body. The Buddha's light is getting brighter and brighter. As if to wrap all the monks in. No, you can't do that. Roland roared. This is lotus purification, a suicide technique that perishes together. This stupid Bodhisattva did not release towards the enemy. He even released to his own people. The light dissipated. Xu Jie won such a planetary battle. Record. Congratulations on your victory. Reward points 25 million points. Record. Congratulations on your successful acquisition of the One God planet. Record. The will of the universe is expelling the original planet master. Xu Jie saw ghosts in space. Broken instantly, then disappeared completely. Record. The original planet owner has been expelled, and the Zen planet has become your satellite. Soon, Xu Jie discovered that the planet of One God moved himself into the awakened space. Continue with the planet of Zon. Each planet master can have more than one planet. Many high-level planet masters will also have many satellites. A more advanced planetary master. For example, a 4th-level civilization and a 5th-level civilization will have a small galaxy. The 6th-level civilization and the 7th-level civilization will have a large galaxy. There is even a legend that there is a strong man with a nebula level. Nebulae are beyond the comprehension of planets. Life is not living on one ball after another. But no one has ever seen such a strong man. It has already conquered all planets. There is no need for Xu Jie to hide and tuck. After the withdrawal of the three-nation coalition forces, he directly appeared in front of people as the master of another planet. God, see a huge ghost in the sky. All the people of Zen planet knelt down. I rescued you. Shu Jie made an ethereal, sacred, and majestic voice. Thank God. Thank God. All cheers. Drive away the monks. Make them happy from the bottom of their hearts. Starting today, this land will change to a belief. A new faith can overcome all hardships and help you live a better life. What this planet has awakened is the power of faith. Miracles can be obtained by relying on the faith of the people. So that Roland would make his people believe in Buddha. But Shu Jie doesn't like those bald heads. He started looking in the system panel. Soon, he locked on a target. Land of Faith unformed. Category, props, effect. Absorb the faith of the people. The stronger the faith, the stronger the ability. Redemption required. 30 million points. This is not bad. Exchange. Although 30 million points made him feel a little sick. With so many points, the things redeemed must be powerful. This made him look forward to it. A handful of golden clay appeared in his hand. It seems only to provide faith. It can be transformed. After thinking for a moment, Shu Jie waved his hand. A book of scriptures fell in front of everyone. Namo Gatling Bodhisattva. Everyone recites the scriptures. Shu Jie looked at the dirt in front of him. The soil is transformed. Soon, a girl full of divinity appeared in front of him. I am Gatling Bodhisattva. Shu Jie looked at the girl in front of him. Her information appeared on the interface. Planet Citizen. Gatling Bodhisattva. Belief level. Mysterious faith belief level. Heaven and Earth Xuanwang. Age. 1 year old. Root bone. Water spirit root. Fire spirit root. Earth spirit root. Comprehension. Zon level 9th grade. Luck. Purple chi comes from the east. Abilities. Gatling gun. Buddha light bullet. Sandling root. Not bad. According to Shu Jie's understanding of other immortal civilizations, double spiritual roots are only 1 in a million people. Not to mention the 3 spirit roots. Faith energy. To a certain extent, it can also develop towards immortal civilization. But the power of faith has a downside. That is the entire planet, and only one top combat power can be cultivated. After all, the concentration of faith, the greater the power. As such, in a Zen planet, only Gatling Bodhisattva is a top class. This is inevitably top-heavy. Shu Jie didn't want to go down the path of a planet master. Maybe alchemy and immortality can collide to create sparks. He thought for a moment. Combine all the Buddhist practice exercises on a Zen planet. All spread, except for the energy of faith. The planet also has some aura. Enough for ordinary people to practice. Of course. If practitioners believe in Gatling Bodhisattva, then you can also get some bonuses of the power of faith. 1 year later, after a Zen planet became a satellite of Zon, the areas of the 2 planets also changed. The original 5,000 kilometer diameter Yizan planet has shrunk to 2,500 kilometers in diameter. The size of the planet Zon expanded from 3,500 kilometers in diameter to 6,000 kilometers in diameter. When the planet of Zon came to 6,000 kilometers, the entire cosmic sea also changed into a new galaxy. This is to get rid of the original planet protective film. In the future, other planets may come to invade. Of course, the one who came to invade was also a planet of the same level. Shu Jie is not worried. He continued to watch the development of the 2 planets. Now, the 2 planets begin trade contacts. Because the planet of Zon relies on alchemy technology, has reached the industrial age. On the other hand, Planet 1 Zen is still in the era of farming. In the lives of the people, the planet of Zon completely kills the planet in 1 second. 1 past 10, 10 past 100 later. The people of a Zen planet started the era of great escape. Shu Jie had a headache. He had wanted to bring the 2 civilizations together. Did not expect. The attraction of alchemy civilization is too great. This led to a large-scale reduction in the population of 1 Zen planet. Although cultivating immortals can increase life expectancy, but only for individuals, it is the masses that benefit from alchemy technology. He turned on the system. Find the find function. Find function. Category. Services. Effect. Help the host to quickly find suitable candidates. Redemption required. 5 million points. I go. 1 million points last time. Now it's 5 million points. Fortunately, you can get a lot of points by attacking the planet of a god. Otherwise it's not enough. System, I need a person to lead the future of the uniform planet. Soon, a man's message appeared in front of him. Name, Ying Dong. Gender, male. Identity, Tianyanzong the young suzerain. Age, 15. Root bone, water spirit root. Comprehension, 9th grade yellow. Luck, green. Ability, Heart Sutra. Tianyanzong, Xu Jie thought for a moment. Kind of understand. Currently a planet of gods. Everyone is practicing metal, wood, water, fire, soil, and the 5 elements of spiritual roots. Among them, Tianyanzong is the sect of cultivating water spirit root. But it has a dead opponent called Tianmozong. Tianmozong's cultivation of fire spirit roots and Tianyanzong are incompatible. The two sects often went to war. In the most recent battle, the sect master of Tianyanzong is one move away from chess. The main force was destroyed by the demon sect. Tianyanzong was also tragically destroyed. Only this Yingdong survived, but at the moment, he is constantly being hunted down. This sub might be useful. Xu Jie thought for a moment. Found him on a cliff. Yingdong, look where you run away. The sect master of the demon sect smiled wickedly. He has now annexed Tianyanzong. But it is so. Weeds must be rooted out. This should be east. He's going to kill him no matter what. The boy looked around. This place is dead. His strength is far from reaching the point where Yujian can fly. What to do? Yu Hedong, if I am in trouble, I will not die. I will kill you all over. Ying Dong gritted his teeth. Jumped straight from the cliff. Yu Hedong frowned. Hastened to bring people to the edge of the cliff. I saw Ying Dong's figure somewhere. Go down and search. Live to see people, die to see corpses. Yu Hedong said coldly. But no one else was found, and neither was the body. Because, at this time, Ying Dong has been secretly rescued by Xu Jie. This kid is talented, intelligent, and courageous. Truly a workable talent, Xu Jie thought for a moment. Give him to Shijiao. Ancestor. What does that mean? Kizuki was a little puzzled. Don't worry about it. Just teach him alchemy, Xu Jie said lightly. Kizuki understands. Shijiao has been conducting research on gene pairs. More research. The more she discovered the greatness of her ancestors. Now she has great respect for her ancestors, and even madly adore her. Where am I? Yingdong woke up lying in a gorgeous palace, completely different from the architectural style of the one god planet. What Lise, you're awake. Kizuki said softly. Her Majesty the Queen. Yingdong's face turned red all of a sudden. Now the planet of Zuan is no longer a secret to the people of the Zen planet. Among them, Ames Doris is the power that countless gods yearn for. Because this is the capital of freedom. Therefore, the image of Kizuki is known to almost all of the one god. Why am I here? Yingdong was puzzled. The ancestor brought you here. He hopes that you can learn alchemy in the future. If you want revenge, then alchemy will definitely be able to help you. Kizuki took a deep breath and said slowly. I learn. There was no hesitation. Yingdong agreed. Nothing is more important now than revenge. The blood debt must be paid in blood. Chapter 91. Half-year later, Yingdong has been learning alchemy. He has a deeper understanding of various 5 elements. Sudden, an idea emerged from the bottom of his mind. It turns out that water is made up of hydrogen and oxygen atoms. So, it might be so. He made up his mind. Come to an open place. The rebirth and deification of ancient immortals, due to the extreme emptiness and stillness, is beyond ego. Only in a vacuum without ego, then you can be reborn and deified. Yingdong read the formula. Between the heavens and the earth, a terrifying vision emerges. If there are monks here, must be shocked, because this is a vision of transcending tribulation. Xu Jie was also a little surprised to know Yingdong's current cultivation. There is none in the Yuan Ying period. He actually attracted thunder. Isn't this looking for death? Boom, dark clouds rolled in the sky. The vision became more and more terrifying. Xu Jie thought for a moment. Did not take action. In his opinion, Yingdong is in a bloody feud. Definitely not suicide. A golden thunder, falling from the sky, hit Yingdong's body. His entire body instantly became coke. Do you died? Shu Jie frowned, but he soon found out. Yingdong didn't even die. Under the action of Tianlei, the root bone in his body changed. Originally he was Shui Lingen. And now, the water spirit root is ionized into hydrogen spirit root and oxygen spirit root. I go. It's a real talent. Shu Jie knew. Should be avenged by the East. Hydrogen root aside, oxygen is the nemesis of fire spirit. To know, in the air, the combustion of fire is inseparable from oxygen. With just this one hand, the demon sect can be restrained to death. After a quarter of an hour, the coke started to fall off. Yingdong's figure appeared. His body is more white than before. It seems that with the help of Tianlei, he has completed a transformation from the inside out. Ha 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 ha, ha 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 ha. Yingdong let out a bold laugh. He was also aware of the transformation of the spiritual roots in his body. The demon sect. I will destroy you all over. Demon sect. Central Square. Yingdong stood in the center indifferently with one sword and one sword. Around him, they are all masters of the demon sect. Yu Hedong smiled and said, "Isn't this the little fish that slipped away? You dare to come to this Longtan when you haven't grown up yet?" Yu Hedong didn't pay attention to the boy in front of him at all. To know, it is only half a year before the destruction of Tianyanzong. Let him be gifted. Adventures continue. It is not possible in just half a year. Exceeds his cultivation base. But to be conservative, he still used his divine sense to check Yingdong's cultivation. Infant period. Humph. As expected, now his cultivation is in the Mahayana period. Squeeze the cultivator of the nascent soul period to death. It's as easy as an ant. Yingdong, have you lost your mind? Dare to come to my heavenly demon sect's mountain gate in the Yuanying period. Alright, bring it to your door in person, so that I won't take the initiative to find you. Yu Hedong let out a burst of laughter. Yingdong said disdainfully, the river pool is shallow and there are many kings. Short-sighted, now I can kill you with one hand. Unbelievable, Yu Hedong sneered. A wave of hands. All heavenly demon sect masters. Start to stimulate the spiritual roots in your body. What happened? What about the flame? People soon found out. They can't perform fire-type exercises at all. It's in your stomach. Yingdong sneered. Everyone exploded instantly. He added oxygen atoms in their bodies. The bullet hasn't been fired yet. Just fry directly. Yu Hedong was shocked. He didn't expect it. Yingdong, it's just a small Yuanying period. To have such terrifying strength. How can this be? This is the power of alchemy. Yingdong snorted coldly. Hydrogen root began to activate. Countless hydrogen atoms entered Yu Hedong's body instantly. Yu Hedong felt difficulty breathing for a moment. What have you done? He blushed and asked. He desperately urged the spiritual energy in his body. Want to crack this crooked way of kung fu. But no matter what he does. All in vain. Shuzi, you, what did you do? Even dead. He also thought, die to understand. I added hydrogen in your body. Hydrogen is relatively light, and after entering your body, it will diffuse around. Now your alveoli are swollen and your entire lung is like edema, compressing your heart. You naturally have trouble breathing. Yingdong explained lightly. Soon, a legendary master of the heavenly demon sect. Just suffocated to death. Father, mother, my child has avenged you. Yingdong's tears fell directly. After a great revenge, he re-established Tianyanzong. But he's not like he used to be. Go the traditional route. Instead, they publish their inventions. A time, one god planet Fengyan fusion. Everyone just found out. It turns out that the gold, wood, water, fire, and soil of practice are the most basic spiritual roots. Under different separations, there are many more directions. Gradually, the whole world is in complete chaos. The original 5 elements spiritual roots. Gradually divided into inorganic spiritual roots and organic spiritual roots. 2 factions. Both factions have their own strengths. For example, the hydrogen spirit root and the inorganic spirit root. Besides, they can use the oxygen molecules in the air. Hydrogen can also be fused multiple times. From this, iron spirit root, copper spirit root and golden spirit root can be extracted. Hydrogen is the source of all things. It is also in the inorganic spiritual roots. The most powerful being, and the carbon spirit root in the organic spirit root. They can cultivate themselves. Work yourself out into your toughest carbon-60 state. Carbon-60 is a non-metallic element with the chemical formula C6O. This is a molecule made up of 60 carbon atoms that resembles a football, also known as football-ene. After becoming a carbon-60 strong, they will be harder than Edmond alloys. Basically indestructible. Nothing is indestructible. Shu Jie smiled with relief. This is the one god planet he wants to see. Blue Star, Shanghai and Shenzhen stock markets, Thomson first product. A boy looked fierce. He was Bai Jiwei, who was robbed of everything by Shu Jie. Now he finally found the one who took everything from him. I didn't expect you to leave the initial planet protective film so quickly. In this way, I can invade you openly. All of these. I must let you taste the pain you brought me back then. Bai Jiwei hates it. At the beginning, his dragon rescue planet was pulled up and not a blade of grass was left. It made him unable to take the 3-mode test at all. Otherwise, how could the city's number 1 fall into the hands of that Shu Jie? Soon, his troops were assembled, because his dragon family has been destroyed. Now the newly born intelligent species is human. The extraordinary civilization is the card civilization. This is because of card civilization. It is the civilization that is most likely to grow rapidly under the tilt of external resources. With the help of his mother, a series of gold cards came into his hands. Currently, his planet, a 5-star business card has been generated. The strength of a 5-star card maker is similar to that of a Mahayana monk. 6 stars are qualitative changes. It is equivalent to the transcendence of a mortal civilization. Lord God, what's the matter? It turned out that the cards were all out. A 5-star card maker didn't quite understand it. Although the planet goes to war. But not to this point. Maybe it has something to do with the last era. An elderly card maker said. Last epoch, what happened? The surrounding card masters asked quickly. Legend. In the last era, there was an even more intelligent species that survived on this planet. But they're on a war and can beat another planet. Finally lead to the collapse of civilization. It is very likely that our expedition this time is related to that mysterious planet. The old card maker said slowly. In fact, Bai Jiwei let them know on purpose. These legends. Just telling his people. This stop. Only success is allowed, no failure is allowed. Fail. That is annihilation. Hiss. The whole place sucked in a breath of cold air. They all realized the importance of this battle. The eyes are also much more solemn. And at the same time, Bai Jiwei successfully found Shu Jie's location. But he didn't think so. Shu Jie already owns 2 planets. Bai Jiwei thought for a moment. Decided to invade the small planet first. Then use this planet as a springboard to attack the main star. Come on. This time, I will definitely kill you. Bai Jiwei consumes the power of the source. The world channel slowly opened. Record. The passage for your people to enter the world. Record. You challenge the planet of Zan. The planet invasion was immediately noticed by Shu Jie. He even put his claws on his territory. He was slightly angry. He intends to convene the 3-nation coalition. But he suddenly found out. Their first stop turned out to be a Zen planet. As such, why don't you look at the strength of a Zen planet? Run, run, the monster is coming. Bluestone City. The people in the city were in chaos. Somehow, a group of monsters suddenly appeared outside the city. They are destroying like crazy. These monsters, they were all summoned by Bai Jiwei's card maker. Plunder, everything of value. Take it all away. Slaughter the city. Don't stay alone. Bai Jiwei sent his own instructions to the army of 200,000 card masters. Roar, just when a big double-headed Mars foot was about to crush a little girl. Gatling Bodhisattva, save me. The little girl shouted hoarsely. A golden light appeared. The goddess Gatling Bodhisattva appeared in front of her. Raise your hand. The double-headed fire rhino was torn in half directly. At this time, other monks from the Zen planet also arrived one after another. It turned out to be the female Bodhisattva Gatling. The female Bodhisattva actually shot. I didn't expect to be able to fight with the female Bodhisattva. It's a blessing for 3 lives. These fools, we finally lived a good life, but they came to invade us and want their lives. The monks took action one after another. One of the sulfuric acid spirit root monks was the most brutal. Wherever he goes, Basically everything corrodes clean. 5-star card maker, kill the one who poured acid in the sky. Bai Jiwei is a blue star. Nature recognizes this irritating liquid. He was a little speechless. What are these things? Isn't Mitsurugi fragrant? What is this cultivation? It's a mess. Sulfuric acid monk, dangerous. A monk spotted a giant dragon flying towards the sulfuric acid monk in the air. A quick reminder. Gatling female bodhisattva, waved her hand. 6 Gatling guns appeared around her. Da 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 da. Gatling gun, 3,600 revolutions per minute in one breath. Countless Buddha light bullets. Like raindrops, it smashed towards the dragon. That giant dragon instantly was beaten into a sieve. No part of the body is complete. My red-eyed black dragon. The 5-star card maker was so angry that he vomited blood. This is his strongest summoning card. Do you think? Am I just so prepared? For today, I've been waiting for a long time. Bai Jiwei said towards the phantom in the opposite space. Woolen cloth. I know you. Shu Jie wondered. You forget. Did you destroy the Dragon Rescue Planet? Bai Jiwei reminded. Shu Jie suddenly remembered. It seems there is such a thing. Pity. At that time your planet was inside the initial planet protective film. It can't be destroyed at all. But it's fine. Now, you are here to send me resources again. Shu Jie laughed. Insanity. The me this time is different from the last time. Bai Jiwei said coldly. Subsequently, Shu Jie received a reminder from the soul rope. The opponent wants to fight him to the death. Duel can agree. Of course you can also refuse. However, refusal requires the payment of 6 sources of power. How could Shu Jie refuse? This is fat delivered to your door. He didn't even think about it. Click to agree. Record. You accept the opponent's planet challenge. Record. The planet of the losing side will become an appendage of the winning side. 10 5-star fabrication division. Look to the sky. I did not expect the Lord God actually want to use a trick. A fabrication division side. Lord God has blocked everything. We can only be victory, not defeat, said an old fabrication division. Then what are we waiting for? People have come up with a gold card. Seeing other people, will dig out a similar card. This is the S-class prop card, fusion. As long as there are 10. The energy can be together. Let one of them become 6 stars fabrication division. Ray began to focus on. Finally converge at one point. Hexagram appears in one of them feet. 6-star fabrication division was born. The other 9 5-star fabrication division. Died suddenly died. Brother, April 0. Your death will not be of no value. I will lead the victory of the war. 6-star fabrication division a hand. A gold card he played out. S-wind card. Blustery moment on the battlefield. Numerous monk is blown to the ground. 6-star fabrication division. Look, hexagram behind him is a genuine 6-star fabrication division. I never thought my life, but also to see 6 stars card. That's 6 stars on fabrication division it. Just one shot, the card is the S-class. 6-star fabrication division out of the war, no suspense. Card division camp to see 6 stars fabrication division arise. Immediately excited, Shu Jie frowned. He could feel the man's powerful S-level card, signboard. Quote, 6-star fabrication division, pulled out a signboard again. An elegant water wizard suddenly appeared. Its hands holding a glass bottle. Dumping glass bottles under. Wang Yang turned out to be the sea. Endless water from out. Bluestone began flooding the entire city. Emergency moment. East should be rushed to the battlefield. A wave of hands. A thick lightning, toward the front collision. He monks. For the study of alchemy, the most profound. Now, he has mastered hydrogen and oxygen harlingen, additional usage. Such as making the air in the air friction elements to produce lightning. In the face of strong ions, water begins electrolysis. Into gas. 6-star fabrication division frowned. He did not expect the water level of the S card turned out to be easily resolved. S-class card tree card. With the advent tree card, everyone at the foot of the vines began to appear. Vines quickly trapped them. All the monks could not move even for a time. At this time, Harlingen monks stood out. They frantically fission atomic body. Atoms under ultra-high temperature and high pressure, the reaction starts to produce They began to shake off the shackles of extranuclear atomic nuclei. Two nuclei are also attracted to each other and collide together. In the polymerization nucleus interaction, the new quality of heavier nuclei, ammonia, was born. But the birth process also releases the energy of terror and bring radiation death. In the role of spiritual root monks, all the trees were killed in a flash of radiation, withered on the vine, nor interfere with living people. Wonderful, wonderful, Shu Jie exclaimed twice. Compared to the planet Zan use as an external alchemical weapon attack, a Zen planet will conduct their own use as reactor. So, no matter what the other elements of attack, they can overcome this. Fight back. Two successive diffuse the crisis. Let each of them cheered up. They have started to fight back. A time. Fabrication division kept death. Corpses everywhere. Everywhere the massacre card division. BG Wei thought he has been very strong. But he did not think Shu Jie could be so tough. But he will defeat it. Will not. He Moxiong arms. It was a SSS card. His mother is the most valuable card. He quietly stole out. Is it really use this? He thought a moment, a bite. This card out. This is 6-star fabrication division received this card in the card down from heaven. I cannot help but gasp. WSSS card, Dark Valkyrie, Pro God. Quote. 6-star fabrication division raised their cards. Moment to break his ribs. Even if it was him. SSS card you want to use. You have to pay a price for the job. Burst of light from heaven. Holding a crescent-shaped blade, as the night warlike armor of the Valkyries in front of everybody. Twilight is about to come, embrace the darkness. Valkyrie issued cold words. Moment. The temperature of the entire battlefield have dropped several degrees. Gatlin female Buddha came before her. Pagan, I converted to Buddhism, is your choice. She said dismissively. In the past some people call me infidel, but they are all dead. Valkyrie waved blade. Moment. A month can beam angle in an arc toward Gatlin Buddha away. Accept physical salvation of it. Gatlin Buddha out of the way. Then her 6 Gatlin began a frenzied rotation. Buddha tons of bomb instantly played out. Pale waterfall. Valkyrie waving the blade. She called out 3 balls body care law. Buddha went so far as to resist playing all down. After a fight, Gatlin Buddha felt his strength is slowly depleted. Look to use the power of faith. Shu Yujian. All of the people are heard Gatlin's request. Many people began to recite the Heart Sutra from Gatlin. One by one, Firefly came to Gatlin. Immediately. Firefly, increasing in number. Gatlin has become more sacred and more powerful after several years of development. A Zen planet and one industry. Population than before, improved by 30%. Even a 2-year-old child, also under the guidance of their parents, pray. Innocent children. Faith produced more flawless. Gatlin female Buddha in these particular beliefs blessing under. Even successfully reach the next level of a prefecture level. Look at the divine Gatling Bodhisattva overhead. The dark Valkyrie was dismissive. She was so overwhelmed. The coming of the moon. The Valkyrie said lightly. In an instant, it was just the dusk sky. It suddenly darkened a little. Then a moonlight fell from the sky. The Valkyrie's figure changed again. Her hair turned silvery white. The armor also turned dark red. Lunar sprint. The Valkyrie attacked first. She at this time has become the living incarnation of the moon of vengeance. 3 body protection orbs revolved around her. This terrifying coercion. Even if there is no impact, the destructive power of this blow can also be imagined. Shu Jie thought for a moment. You even use God-level props. Don't blame me for getting out too. He opens the system panel. Find the item you want. Exchange. Record. You consume 10 million points to exchange for God-level props, allure and allure. Alluring city and alluring country. Type. Consumed. Effect. Has a super charm effect and ignores resistance. God-level tools. And it's a consumable. That is to say, after using it once, the message will be sent. But not so much right now. It's a life and death battle now. Just take down the opponent's planet. Lost points. Totally earn it back. The appearance of Qingcheng Qingguo is a white cheongsam with a pattern of 5-clawed flying dragons. Shu Jie waved his hand. The white cheongsam fell from the sky. Draped over the body of the Gatling Bodhisattva. Valkyrie attack. at the moment of contact with Gatling Bodhisattva. Actually stopped. Her expression also became dull. Child, don't help Joe to abuse again. In the future, you will become a messenger of light, punishing evil and promoting good. Gatling Bodhisattva stretched out his right hand. The Valkyrie also stretched out her right hand. Two hands are held together. In an instant, the armor on the Valkyrie changed light. The original bloody dark red armor turned into white armor shining like the snow on a winter night. From today, I am the Sentinel of Light, Diana. The Valkyrie swore solemnly. Bai Jiwei was completely dumbfounded. To know, the Dark Valkyrie is his strongest fighting force. Now, turned out to be someone else's subordinate. The planet doesn't belong to them. But they came to invade. Now our people are being slaughtered. Diana, it's time for you to act. Gatling Bodhisattva said calmly. I'm going to act for you, police the evil and punish the traitor. The Valkyrie Diana fell from the sky. Start the slaughter. How come? My SSS card. The 6-star card maker began to release the Dark Valkyrie. He is now not even the strength to move. Diana walked up to him. Slowly lift the crescent-shaped moon blade. You can't kill me. I am your master, the 6-star card maker said quickly. But it was clearly in vain. How could Diana, who was controlled by alluring country and allure, ignore his plea for mercy? Knife up and down. A head rolled off. What about an army of 200,000 people? They lost their top combat effectiveness. No matter how stubborn. It can only be destroyed little by little. As the last card maker fell, a prompt appears. Record. Congratulations on your victory in this duel. Record. The other's planet begins to become your satellite. Record. Tianyuan planet has become your satellite planet. My planet. What? I don't agree. You make a sly trick. Bai Jiwei watched as his planet was annexed by others. Immediately, he became a little out of his mind. But this is also useless. Because the will of the universe is driving him out. After a while, another shadow in the sky disappeared. Tianyuan planet also moved into Shu Jie's awakening space. The area of Tianyuan planet is about the same size as the previous one god planet. After incorporation, the entire Tianyuan planet began to shrink. Corresponding to this, the planet of Zan expands again. Shu Jie opens the information of Tianyuan planet. He frowned. It turned out that the invading army was the main force of the Tianyuan planet. Lose this unit. It can be said that there is basically no civilization on the Tianyuan planet. But the planet also has its value. That's minerals. In the system information, this planet is a rare mineral planet. Not only contains iron, copper, yin, and gold. There is even a rare mineral, uru metal. This metal possesses considerable energy and can be enchanted. Weapons made from it can communicate with the user's mind, and can also repair themselves. Shu Jie didn't want to develop the civilization of Tianyuan planet. Because human experience is limited. If every planet is taken care of, almost impossible to exist. Otherwise, those big men who manage the galaxy, even if they have 1,000 heads, are not enough. The easiest way, or after making life strong on the planet of Zan. Let them take the initiative to conquer the Tianyuan planet. Now, it is the most suitable for the existence of gold mine. Blue Star, Shanghai and Shenzhen stock markets, Thomson First Product. A boy stood on the balcony of a 30-story building. He looked at the low stream of vehicles. Heart ashes. He was very sorry. Why is going to provoke that person by himself? Now the planet is deprived. Then he will be a jerk. This means, I used to see myself as a classmate at the bottom. Anyone, all can look at him. This made him so arrogant and arrogant, how could he be accepted? One step forward, take one step forward and you are free. The voice in his heart kept hinting at him. Yo, a heavy object fell from the sky. Smashed hard on the ground. The next day, news reports. A student, unable to bear the pressure, committed suicide by jumping off the building. Faced with such news, everyone got used to it. This kind of thing is very common in this world. Students of any level, once the planet develops serious problems, ranging from depression to suicide. See this unlucky boy. The planet should be completely gone. Otherwise, it will not fall to the point of suicide. Inside the cemetery, a middle-aged woman stands in front of a tombstone. Don't worry, no matter who the other party is, I will definitely take him out and avenge you. The woman said lightly. She's not too sad. In this world. In fact, love is a very weak existence. Everyone lives a second life on the planet. I am used to seeing life and death. Even if his own son dies. Her emotions were hardly fluctuated. Soon, the people of planet Zon also discovered an extra planet in the sky. Had the experience of a Zen planet. For this extra planet. Everyone is also surprised. But soon, everyone noticed something unusual. That is, this planet has no channel connection to the planet of Zon. Of course Shu-Jie didn't want to build a channel. To know. A continuous world channel. Need to consume a source of power. At present, he has consumed a lot of source power. And Tianyuan planet, except for metal, its civilization, Shu-Jie is not interested. Naturally, no transmission channel was established. But even if there is no channel, Shu-Jie believes. The three kingdoms also have a way to explore. It didn't take long. Rejuvenating Dan Shu. The first rushed up. They refined special medicine pills. After taking it, it can form a special chi around the body. This air, a safe environment can be formed. Enable them to adapt to the cosmic environment. Victor also values the sudden appearance of the planet. It's different from the one god planet. There is no ban on attacks on this planet. That means, countless precious treasures, with the efforts of him and Singe. A huge space battleship was soon built. Plunder. The resources of that planet will belong to our mechanical federation. Boom. The spaceship began to lift off. Fly towards the green Tianyuan planet. Ames Doris. Wenger was a little anxious. Now, both Xinguo and Machinery Federation have entered the Tianyuan planet. But Her Majesty the Queen doesn't seem to be in a hurry at all. Her Majesty the Queen. Wenger thought again and again, but came to the Queen's bedroom. Kizuki yawned. With a lazy look, he walked out. What's the matter? My chief alchemist is very popular. Tianyuan planet. Our space refining array has been developed. At any time, our soldiers can be transmitted in large numbers. Wenger bowed his head and said respectfully. Shijiao said lightly, we, Ames Doris, don't plan to go to Tianyuan planet to join in the fun. What? Wenger was a little surprised. Didn't you find it? With the appearance of the two moons, the size of Zon's planet has also expanded further. Instead of chasing the sky, we should look at our feet. Kizuki said lightly. Shu-Jie heard some appreciation. Today, the planet of Zon has become a large planet with a diameter of 7,000 kilometers. The planet grows bigger. The larger the diameter, the more difficult it becomes. Very beginning, when annexing the same planet, the diameter has increased to 6,000 kilometers. But now, the diameter of the Tianyuan planet is much larger than that of the one god planet. But the diameter has only increased by 1,000 kilometers. Your Majesty the Queen, you were really wise. I'll call the little spiders to explore the frontier. After Wenger finished speaking, he backed away. Action of the three kingdoms. Shu-Jie did not intervene. In his opinion, some people look at the sea of stars. Some people focus on the ground beneath their feet. At this point, no one is right or wrong. Different ideas collide. To make civilization more prosperous and prosperous. Equilibrium sect. A man came to Twilight's Eye and said bitterly. He got down on one knee. Master, now, the area of Ames Doris on the planet of Zon is getting bigger and bigger, and from time to time it invades the land of other two countries, causing life to be destroyed. Do we want to intervene? Master Kusuo, who is meditating. I heard this. Eyes opened. He said lightly. Balance only remains neutral and does not participate in any wars. But at the beginning, it was clearly the Ames Doris that we helped set up. Don't you think it's funny that you don't participate in the war now? The man argued with reason. Robbery. Go back. Equilibrium sects can only remain neutral. Said bitterly and waved his hand. In fact, it is hard to say that my heart is like a mirror. The Equilibrium sect was founded by the ancestors. But the ancestors seem to have forgotten the equilibrium. Trinity Church is maintaining balance in the world. Trinity Church is responsible for delivering oracles. There was no oracle intervening. Is there any reason for the Equilibrium sect to take action? The current balance, more like a weapon of the church. Not as a last resort. There is no need to take action. What do you want to say? but held back. He walked out of the atrium. Right now, the hut next to him caught his attention. That's forbidden territory for sects. He knows. You shouldn't go there yourself. When just arguing, let him have a rebellious thought in his heart. Unconsciously, he has entered the secret room. Inside the secret room is a black box. The moment he saw it, was deeply attracted. Do not be afraid of the way of confusion. There are no taboos in ninjutsu. Balanced and fragile. Balance is a mentor to the patient. They followed the wrong mentor. Truth lies in the shadows. Face the shadows and find the truth. The black box made a strange noise. These sounds. It actually coincided with the thoughts in the bottom of Jia's heart. He took a deep breath. The black box was opened. Dish dish dish. A group of black shadows sprang from the black box. It is integrated into the body. Duelise. Countless ninja techniques began to appear in his mind. Shadow ninja technique. Soul destruction tribulation. Shadow profound truth. Blades. Shadow profound truth. Avatar. Shadow profound truth. Ghost slash. Forbidden profound truth. Instant prison shadow killing array. Zed's eyes changed suddenly. He seems to have become someone else. Senior brother. Where are you going? Looking at the robbery to go out. A man leaned against the wooden door and asked. He is Shen. He is the son of Master Kushuo, and also the elder brother of Jia. He can perceive a lot. Once gone, it is very likely that he will never come back. Either embrace the shadow or die in the dark. But left behind this vague sentence. Don't look back. Left the Equilibrium sect. Soon after, a whole new sect began to emerge. Its name is Shadow Stream. And Zed is called the Lord of Shadow Streams. But do not know. Too many killings fueled his ambitions and the shadows in his heart. Finally, one day, the darkness within him reached its peak. This prompted him to return to the sect of Equilibrium. Equilibrium within the sect, Twilight Eye Kusuo and Shadow Fist Meimyu, stood in front of him. You're here, said bitterly. His words were very calm. He seemed to have expected something like this to happen. Shadow inspired me. Balance is a mentor to patience. Zed looked at his former teacher and said without emotion. Are you here just to say this? The shadow corrupts your heart and makes you unable to see yourself clearly. You should return to the Equilibrium sect. Hard to persuade, said. The shadow fist Umem on the side. Then clenched fist. She can sense it. Persuade. Is ineffective. The black box was stolen. They're here to steal black boxes. Sudden. There was the cries of the equalizers. I saw a group of shadows retreating beside Zed. One of the shadows handed the black box to Zed. So that's your purpose. Bitterly said that the breath on his body skyrocketed. He has always been gentle. At this time, it is also necessary to fight for the black box. Master, you're old. Let me teach you the profound meaning of ninjutsu. But finished. A shadow clone instantly came behind Kusai. Balance is just a lie. We are the real ninjas. Forbidden profound truth. Instant prison shadow killing array. A quarter of an hour later. Eye of Twilight said bitterly, Fist of Shadow Plum Eye. All fell to the ground. Followers of the Equilibrium sect. Also slaughtered. The headquarters of the Equilibrium sect is also occupied by the Shadow Stream. Shu Jie watched all this silently. Did not intervene. Equilibrium sect, he has paid little attention. In fact, he has been marginalized. Because Trinity Church, Divine Right of Kings, can control 3 countries more easily than a balanced sect. But the other thing he didn't expect was an organization called Shadow Stream will arise. Natural selection, survival of the fittest. Shadow Stream's teaching is that the strong help the weak. Maybe he's more sectarian than balanced. More adaptable. The planet now. Because now, the planet of Zan has undergone turbulent changes. Xinguo and Machinery Federation are on the planet of Tianyuan. At the same time, Uru metal was discovered. The two sides fought hard. Amestorius, on the other hand, expanded his domain on Zan. At the same time, the lands of both countries are violated from time to time. But Cheng and Victor didn't have the energy to care what Kizuki did. They agreed. It doesn't matter if there is less land now. Just master Ulu metal. At that time, you can grab it again. There is no great power asylum. More and more people on the border are starting to rise up. New small countries are being born all the time. On the side of the couch, others are allowed to sleep soundly. At the same time, the three kingdoms were encircling and suppressing small countries. With the help of Shadow Stream, small nations began to go into exile. Many people embark on the journey of the Sea of Death. It's not an exaggeration to say it's the Sea of Death. Because of today's Zon, ocean terrain has appeared. The Sea of Death is the largest sea area on the planet of Zon. There are all kinds of sea monsters. Even the national alchemist was seriously injured there. The land on the other side is shrouded in clouds and mist all the year round. Nobody knows what exactly is there. Actually, this piece of land. It is Shu Jie's current experimental site. He was inspired by Venger's third gene. Start creating new intelligent species. This species. In fact, it is the planet of Zon, the first intelligent species born. They just weren't lucky. Exposure to radiation. The entire group, though BBDA, began to generate sapience. But in the end, it could not resist the terrifying radiation. Eventually to extinction. But Shu Jie kept their genes. Now, according to research by Amerstoris, add the second gene fragment, and the third gene fragment. Investing in the power of the source. After the acceleration time runs, new intelligent species are also born. Their appearance reminded Shu Jie of a cute creature. So they named them Pandarin. The Pandarin civilization was born. Shu Jie considers the other three countries across the ocean. So the whole land was covered with a thick fog. In addition, also put many beasts in the ocean. This created the current Sea of Death. Shu Jie originally wanted to teach Pandarin alchemy. But he found out, Pandarin talent is not in this place. They have higher achievements in martial arts. At the same time, they can actually be like a warrior civilization. Direct the Kai in the body. This made Shu Jie overjoyed. So he began to pass on Qigong. Soon, Pandarin have developed two factions in Qigong. Tushui and Huojin. Tushui sects take life solemnly in silent meditation, harsh practice and self-reflection. The elegant and calm Aisha has acquired impeccable body skills and a noble and secretive mind through persistent training. The leader of the Tushui faction is Elsa. For her, the way of earth and water is the way of defending justice. The leader of the Huojin faction is Ji. As a loyal follower of the Huojin Pandarin philosophy, he firmly believes that inaction is the greatest immorality. In Ji's view, defending his hometown and his people at all costs is an extremely honorable thing. He is outgoing and enthusiastic, but never thoughtful. This makes him always the first to speak. Today, another routine morning meeting for Pandarin. But the difference is, at this time, there are actually three creatures in the tribe that can walk upright and have no hair. This makes the tribe that has always been quiet. They started to discuss. The ancestors once said, when this creature appears, the Pandarin will have their own mission. This creature may be close relatives to us. You look at his eyes, there are also two dark circles. However, they are too ugly to have my beautiful hair. Cough cough. An old Pandarin appeared. Everyone quieted down. Patriarch, we should drown these three so that our Pandarin's position will not be revealed. Ji stood up and said first. Ji's eye had interrogated the three of them just now. He learned. It turned out that they were from the other side of the sea. It's a creature called man. On that land, the war continued. The three are also from different countries. Xinguo, Machinery Federation, Ames. Doris. War. Pandarin hate the most. He didn't want the Pandarin tribe to get involved in this kind of strife. No way. Ji, have you forgotten your ancestors' prophecy? Elsa said. In fact, Ji has a crush on Elsa. Seeing loved ones stop. Immediately, his face turned red, and he turned to the side. The old patriarch also stepped forward. Elsa is right. The ancestors we believe in, the prophecies left to us. When humans set foot on Pandaria, it was the Pandarin's duty to fulfill their mission. Now, we should pick out the dragon warrior. The old patriarch said. As soon as I heard that, I wanted to choose Shenlong heroes. A group of Pandarin was immediately excited. They are all masters of martial arts in the village. For the title of dragon hero, it is bound to be one. Dragon hero. I want to be a dragon warrior. At this time, a chubby panda rolled over. Apo, don't make trouble. The old patriarch picked up the cane. Stop Abo's figure. Patriarch, why are there stars during the day? After Abao finished speaking, he fainted. The old patriarch continued. According to the ancestors, martial arts are divided into 4 levels. The first level is called martial arts. This is a kind of ornamental art performance, such as Ah Xing of Zha Yao. He shows martial arts in the form of art. The second level, called martial arts, refers to the talents who have established their own schools and created their own styles in martial arts. Aisha, Ji, the Tushui school and Huojin school you created belong to this level. The third level, called martial arts, uses physical changes to people and objects to achieve the realm of flying flowers and plucking leaves, hurting people and imminent death. For example, I'm at this level. As the old patriarch said that, he clamped a falling leaf with his hand, and then threw it hard, and a large hole appeared in the wall of the tribe in an instant. The Pandarin were collectively shocked. They all knew that the old patriarch was the most powerful person in the village. But I didn't expect it to have such power. The 4th floor is called Martial Dao. Martialists, benevolent or invincible. This is a whole new realm, even me, I don't know. But I saw a thing or two from Abao's quality. The old patriarch finished. Ji hurriedly said, Patriarch, do you mean that Abao is a dragon hero? No way. Abao turned out to be a dragon hero. Abao has mastered martial arts. How is this possible? How can Abao be the dragon warrior? Pandarin group discussion. But Xu Jie agreed. This panda named Bao, although plump, but also has many rare qualities. He is easygoing, innocent, active, playful, and childish. He always tells jokes and makes funny moves to please others, has a cheerful personality and loves to play tricks. Such a character can become a martial arts master. The secret of martial arts is just a wordless scripture, the true meaning of which is that nothing is better than something. The biggest enemy of man is his own obsession, and the biggest bondage is to set limits on others and himself. Bao is like a blank piece of paper, with a clear spring, without obsessions and limitations. In fact, in Xu Jie's vision, anyone can become a dragon warrior. As long as you break through the existing standards, you can roam the world. But among the Pandarin, only Po could have this standard. A golden light fell from the sky, on top of Bao's head. See this vision. All Pandarin knelt down. The 3 humans were a little confused about the situation. But he also knelt down. Dragon secrets. The old patriarch respectfully took the scroll in the golden light. The whole person was instantly shocked. Dragon cheats. What divine dragon cheats? At this time, Bao also woke up. At this time, the golden light had dissipated, and he did not know what happened. Abo, listen. From today onwards, you are the dragon warrior. This is the divine dragon secret book. The old patriarch said lightly. What? Me, dragon warrior? Abao tried hard not to hit his chubby face. But the pain told him. All this is not a dream. Abao, this is the magic book of dragons given by the ancestors, it belongs to you. The old patriarch handed out the scroll. Bao quickly accepted his current identity. He said excitedly, Wait, what will happen after I watch it? No one knows. It can be said that the butterfly is afraid of flapping its wings, you can hear it. Huh, really? So cool. Abao couldn't believe it. That's right, only you can see light in a black hole. You can still feel every vibration of the world. The old patriarch explained. Such a great secret. To be honest, he also wanted to know what. But Shenlong cheats can only be viewed by Shenlong heroes. This is the rule. Bao punched several times excitedly. He was a little incoherent with excitement. Can I do 4 backflips in a row? Can I punch through the walls with 1 punch? Concentrate. Concentrate and concentrate. Concentrate, concentrate, concentrate. See Apo like this. Even the slow old patriarch was speechless. He kept repeating. Hope Po can calm down. Late, right. Bao finally came to a realization, and let the center of the earth be under control. Read it, then complete your mission. The old patriarch said impatiently. How can there be a more ink-stained panda than myself? Wait, what is my mission? Apo asked. He only knew that by becoming a dragon hero, he would be able to achieve supreme supernatural powers. But he didn't know anything about the mission. Protecting the country and Anbang punishes treacherous and evil. Taoism will naturally eliminate evil spirits. The war is endless, but the confusion is endless. What is the war for my generation? The old patriarch took a deep breath and said in a deep voice. I don't understand. Abao was stunned after hearing this. Just remember this sentence for me. Understood, you can become a real dragon hero. Now, your task is to open the scroll. Open. The old patriarch was a little angry when he was inked. Hey, okay. Po took the scroll. He first carefully opened the gap. According to the book, those cheats open. There will be a golden light coming in and out. What? How not? Po widened the gap a bit. But still no. At last, he opened the scroll completely. Wow. He was surprised. The dragon scroll turned out to be blank. Abao was surprised. Blank. What? The old patriarch was surprised. Don't believe me, look. Abao put the Shenlong secret book in front of the old patriarch. No, there are rules I can't watch. The old patriarch turned around immediately. He then hesitated for 2 seconds. Quickly grabbed the dragon scroll. There is not a word or a picture on the scroll. It is indeed blank. Blank. I really don't understand, the old patriarch muttered. Never mind. In my opinion, you probably chose the wrong person. Abao sighed. I'm not some dragon hero. You were chosen as the dragon hero as the guide of the ancestors. That ancestor is probably a lunatic. Shut up. The wisdom of the ancestors, how can you and I be able to compare? The old patriarch didn't understand either. But currently, they have to deal with the 3 humans in front of them. After his personal interrogation, some understand. It turned out that in another piece of land, the disputes did not stop. So these poor people came to this land. Now, their ships were stranded in the Sea of Death. The 3 of them explored the road ahead of time before they came to this land. In that case, we shouldn't wait for help. The old patriarch decided to help these people. Patriarch, we can't do this. It would disrupt our peaceful lives. Season station blocked. The land is vast. It can accommodate more creatures to live in. Unlike Ji, Aisha did not object much to the old patriarch's decision. Finally, everyone agrees. Decided to rescue the trapped ship. Apo, don't go. Let me learn the basics first. Looking at Bao, who is eager to try. The old patriarch quickly grabbed him. Sea of Death. 3 large ships were stranded in a sea. They are the subjects of the Chen state. Chen Guo split from Xinguo. But not long ago, Chen Guo was still destroyed. With the help of Shadow Stream, they try to cross the Sea of Death and go to new lands. The 6 ships that originally set off together, now only 3 remain. Not long ago, the 3rd batch of squads go to Pathfinder. Until now, it has not come back. General Yunyu. It's the 3rd day. They haven't come back yet. We're dying of thirst when we can't find Lu, said a soldier. Yunyu nodded. The situation of the ship. He is very clear. Now it has indeed reached the point where the mountains and rivers are exhausted. He looked at the small island next to him. On that, filled with many beasts. Is it just a fight to the death? These islands in the Sea of Death. It is Shu Jie's natural laboratory. The ones above are all radiated creatures from the planet of Zan. These radiated creatures, actually not extinct. Instead, it was secretly saved by Shu Jie. On the island next to them, it is a strange creature called Night Spring. Night Rabbit, with snake head and dog body and tail, can spit letters and live in groups. Not only are they extremely damaging, the most terrifying thing is that it will become invisible after finding you. At first, they did not know that such terrifying creatures existed on the island. After going up, lost half of them, even a powerful alchemist. Nor is it the opponent of the hordes of Yekwan. General Yunyu, look. That's not right, a soldier shouted suddenly. Only see the shore. Do not know when. It was actually filled with groups of night springs. Their red eyes are especially bright at night. Makes people feel cold. Do not be afraid. With the ocean, those beasts can't get through. At this time, a well-dressed nobleman came over. He is the 2nd prince of the Chen kingdom. His Royal Highness 2nd Prince. Yunyu arched his hands. If something goes wrong, there must be a demon. It's the first time such a strange thing has happened these days. Different from the optimism of the 2nd Prince. Yunyu had a bad feeling in his heart. But he didn't realize why. Waiting. The sea surges. Yunyu found. The coastline of the island has gradually widened. He reacted immediately. It's low tide. Hurry up to sell. He cried. The sailors lifted anchor immediately. But the tide ebbs too fast. Soon, the tide receded under the boat. All 3 ships were stuck on the reef. The tide is ebbing too fast. Yun Yu couldn't believe it. He had never seen such a thing. This is because he does not know. At this time, the planet Zon has 2 moons. Both moons affect the tides of the Dead Sea at the same time. Of course, such a rapid ebb tide is rare. Can only say, these people are really unlucky. There is no ocean as a hindrance. Yi Xiao rushed towards the ship. Garrison, General Yun Yu shouted and drew his long sword. Blood stained the reef. Among them is the night spring. There are also human ones. But in quantity, Night Rabbit has natural advantages. Soon, a Kainea was bitten in the throat by a night wolf. Under the effect of radiation. Even if he killed Yi Quan. Still slowly dying. Evening Primrose, it's useless. Yun Yu was very surprised. He recognized that the wound was caused by irradiated organisms. So I took out the Evening Primrose. But unexpectedly it didn't work. This is because these radiated creatures are constantly evolving. The radiation it carries is more complex than before. It is no longer a simple Evening Primrose that can expel. At last, that Shadow Stream ninja still went to death. There was a hint of despair in Yun Yu's heart. Are they Chen Guo? Is it really going to be extinct here? Right now. A huge turtle appeared in everyone's field of vision. This is a sea turtle wandering in the Sea of Death. Unlike other beasts, it is gentle and does not kill at will. The ancestors of the Pandarin have established a good relationship of trust with it. Some Pandarin use this to leave Pandaria to explore the world beyond the mists. The turtle stopped. Pandarin jumped off its back. Join the fight. With the help of Pandarin, Yequan was completely wiped out. The refugees from Chen State were also rescued. Xu Jie nodded slowly. Thus, Pandaria will be fully known. 1 year later. More and more small countries are crossing the Sea of Death. Form a kingdom on Pandaria. 100 nations soon appeared on Pandaria. At first, the people are still living in harmony. But soon, the ambitions of some swelled. The first war broke out. Now Pandora's box is completely opened. War strife. Even the Pandarin were not at peace. Patriarch. This is just great. Pandaria is in chaos. Ji blamed the old patriarch. It is believed that he was responsible for all of this. This is the order of the ancestors. The old patriarch said lightly. Then this ancestor is definitely a second goods. Ji Qi was in a panic. That's right, I think so. He also said that I am the dragon warrior. A Bao is right next to him. Shut up you two. The old patriarch was not angry. Bao simply couldn't support the wall. It's been a long time without any progress. Even he had doubts. Patriarch, it's not good. Humans are calling. Right now, a Pandarin soldier ran in. What? The old patriarch immediately rushed to the entrance of the village with the Pandarin soldiers. Sure enough, outside the village, there are all human beings. Lord Shen, why are you free today? Come and visit our panda village. The old patriarch looked at the leader and said lightly. I heard, you panda village, there is a secret book, it seems to be called the Shenlong secret book. Hand over the divine dragon secret book. You can be safe. Lord Shen smiled. It turned out that he came for the Shenlong cheat book. The old patriarch suddenly realized. It seems that the 3 people at the time leaked the news. This is the secret of the dragon. You take it. The old patriarch took out the emerald green scroll. Throw it to Lord Shen in front of him. Lord Shen was delighted. Open quickly. His expression suddenly changed drastically. Because it's on the reel. It turned out to be blank. Old guy, you want me? He waved. A rain of arrows shot towards Panda Village. War is imminent. Shen Wangye is a Dan Wang. Even the old patriarch is not his opponent. Just when he was about to kill, a Bao fell from the sky. Press him down hard. A Bao, run away. You are not his opponent. The old patriarch said anxiously. Actually, I already understand. There is no so-called secret book at all, everything depends on oneself. A Bao said in a deep voice. The old patriarch also noticed. This moment, Poe's aura seemed to have changed. His bearing at this time is completely heroic. Is he really the dragon warrior? Next second, he was disappointed. I saw Poe attacking with his big belly. What a trick. He is not a dragon warrior at all. Etc. This trick seems to work. I see. Po takes advantage of his wide body and fatness. Completely suppressed Lord Shen. You fat and fat panda, I will not lose to you. Lord Shen became angry and threw a punch. But this trick. It was taken over by a bow in an instant. That's right. I'm just a fat panda, but I have to add. I'm Shenlong fat panda. After he finished speaking, he raised his ring finger. Goodbye. No iron finger buttons. This is. Lord Shen was surprised. He could sense it. He was actually going to another dimension. A golden light appeared. Lord Shen disappeared. Appo wins. Dragon hero. He's really a dragon warrior. We won. The Pandarin cheered. At this time, even in the season of Huo Jinliu, he had to admit that Bao was indeed a dragon hero. With the death of Lord Shen, the army also retreated. The Pandarin have won. It turns out that you are really a dragon hero. The old patriarch walked up to Bao. He couldn't believe it. Xu Jie is deeply gratified. The dragon hero awakened successfully. Everything met his expectations, although the Pandarin have won. But it didn't end there. Under the guidance of Xu Jie, Pandarin engage in diplomacy. Fortunately, the Alchemy Kingdom next to them, the Holy Kingdom of Roble. It is a peace-loving country. Under Xu Jie's matchmaking, the Holy Kingdom of Roble and the Pandarin tribe officially established diplomatic relations. Po also met the Holy Queen of Roble Holy Kingdom, Kalka Bezerez. She is a genius who can use 4th-level faith magic at the age of 15, and has a virgin-like feeling for the people. Dragon hero, isn't it? Kalka laughed. She fell in love with this chubby creature from the bottom of her heart. Okay, just call me Bao. I've never eaten so much good food. A Bao ate and ate, lying directly on the table of the dinner party. The knight next to him frowned. What a system this is. Fine, maybe Pandarin eat like this. Kalka stopped him with a smile. After eating and drinking, Kalka asked, I heard that you have a trick, called No Iron Fingers, that can bring people to the spiritual world. Is this real? Of course. Do you want to meet? However, I can't use this trick lightly. Killing, but it's not right. A Bao was drunk and revealed everything. Will not. I heard that in addition to being a hero, you are also a chef. For chefs, killing is not killing. It's cooking. Kalka laughed. That's right. Right, I'm a cook. Under Kalka's direction, Po shows no need for iron finger clasp. And she sat and recorded. Her identity is in addition to the queen. Also a master of alchemy. In addition to the basic refining array. She has a certain amount of research on space formation. After a quarter of an hour, she looked up. The coordinates of the space were successfully recorded by her. Perhaps the Holy Spirit can indeed be summoned from the spiritual world. Xu Jie is also watching everything. He did not expect this Holy Queen. Really twice. I actually researched the space to form a summoning array. See yourself. Should be helping him. He opens the system panel. See a prop. Distant ideals. Type. Props. Effect. Automatically heals the bearer. Description. The scabbard of the Sword of Oath of Victory wielded by King Arthur Arturia Pendragon. Your research is very good. Sudden. A voice appeared in Kalka's ear. But even if you find the coordinates of the spiritual world, without the corresponding holy relic, you can't summon it. Holy relic. What happened? The words that appeared suddenly. It didn't frighten her, rather reassuring. She quickly understood. This is the oracle of the ancestors. So asked quickly. Treasures connected with spirits can only be summoned by using them. Now I give you your first holy relic. Done. A blue and yellow scabbard appeared in front of her. This is. She was stunned. She could sense the extraordinariness of this thing. She nodded, then engraved the formation on the ground. Then placed the scabbard in the center. She dripped her own blood and chanted a spell. Your body is handed over to me, and my destiny is handed over to your sword. If you follow the trust of the summons, obey the principles, and respond accordingly. I swear here that I will be a good person forever, and I will be an evil person forever. 7 days around the spirit of your words, come the wheel of self-stop, O guardian of the scales. Boom! A ray of light rose from the formation. The blonde knight appeared in front of her. She has snow-white skin, shawl blonde hair and green eyes. It was a female knight. Even Kalka, who is a woman, also stopped for a while. I ask you, are you my master? Kai. Blue Star, Shanghai and Shenzhen stock markets, Thomson first product. Aries Qian woke up from the maintenance cabin. Now, the diameter of her planet also reaches 6,000 kilometers. At the same time there are 10 great mages. Just now, she successfully conquered a planet. But she found out. This planet is far from being as simple as it seems. Except for terrestrial civilization, it also has a long underground civilization. This underground civilization is more like some kind of prehistoric ruins. Even Aries Qian would not dare to do it alone. She thought for a moment. Make a phone call. Hey, is that Chen Qi? Aries asked. Well, what's the matter? Now Chen Qi also came to a diameter of 5,000 kilometers, leaving the initial planetary protective film. After learning to make hextech, her civilization has also undergone a qualitative upheaval. Ancient ruins. 5-5, to be honest, I'm very interested. However, I don't know if I have that strength. Maybe, we should find someone else. After thinking for a moment, Chen Qi said. Aries is overjoyed. The person she was actually looking for was Xu Jie. However, there were some misunderstandings between the two. And she has thin skin. Sorry to speak. I'll contact Xu Jie now. Chen Qi finished speaking. Quickly start a call with Xu Jie. Ancient ruins. Xu Jie was slightly startled. He seemed to have heard of it. Many planets do not have more than one master. And those indigenous people, in order to avoid being slaughtered by the next master, will move towards the center of the earth. I don't know how many years have passed since then. Develop a splendid underground civilization. Even the planet master doesn't know. I'm very interested in ancient ruins. Xu Jie agreed. Decided to join forces. Xu Jie began to think about which army to send. One Zen planet is excluded first. They just went through a big battle. Need to rest now. Xinguo, Machinery Federation, Ames Doris. It doesn't seem to work either. These three countries have been in constant friction over the years. It's not as united as it used to be. Even with Pope suppression. It is also inevitable to make small movements. A single country may not have enough combat power. Xu Jie decided after thinking for a moment. Assign the kingdoms of Pandaria to battle. It's easy to command them. Xu Jie entered the dream of the heroic spirits and their masters. Spread the concept of the Holy Grail. Just be number one in Star Wars. Get the Holy Grail. The Holy Grail is the wishing machine that grants all wishes. The next day, all wake up to find they weren't the only ones who had such dreams. The heroic spirits they summoned had a similar dream. There are also masters of other kingdoms. A total of hundreds of countries, almost all have the same dream. At this moment, everyone realized the seriousness of the problem. The legendary Holy Grail. Likely, it does exist. The first to be excited are the heroic spirits. They themselves came to this world because of regret. Now see an opportunity to make a wish come true. Everyone was shaking with excitement. Under the organization of the Holy Kingdom of Roble, all the masters were dispatched to form a powerful army. Xu Jie looked at this army with some relief. Swordsman, spearman, archer, cavalry, magician, assassin, berserker. Not a single troop is missing. Simply perfect. But the number of masters is a problem. Only 5,000 people, but everyone has a follower. That is, actually an army of 10,000. Seems to be enough. After you are ready, he quickly contacted Aries Qian and Chen Qi. Good. Receive. I'll provide the planet coordinates here. Hear the voice of the male god. Aries Qian was nervous and a little incoherent. Soon, Xu Jie received a coordinate. By 261.25, Y, 364.36.7, 985.36. Record: you consume 50% of the world origin and are heading to the specified coordinate planet. Record: the world passage is under construction. Record: the world channel has been constructed, and your troops are entering. Record: your troops have reached the designated planet. The screen in front of Xu Jie changed. A light green planet appeared in front of his eyes. At the same time, he also met Aries Qian and Lu Lianshan. Although not an entity, but he can also feel the demeanor of the two women. Chen Qi is still the same as before. Gives a feeling of a small home Jasper. But what happened to Aries? Why does it give a seductive feeling? Hey, Xu Jie, your troops seem to have changed again. And only 5,000. Aries Qian wondered. After that defeat, she has been touching and observing Xu Jie. Aha. The new lineup, how about the effect? Besides, soldiers are more valuable than others. My 5,000 people are all elites. Xu Jie smiled. Student Xu is amazing. Even if it is an ordinary civilization, in his hands, there can be 100 ways to use it. Another day, I must ask for advice. Chen Qi smiled. Yes, I want to ask you too. Aries is in harmony. Complemented by two beauties, makes Xu Jie somewhat embarrassed. He touched his nose and said, let's go. As the troops gather, we won't waste time. Aries 1000 nodded. Then, the three armies began to converge. The army of magicians is 20,000. Astrologers are also 20,000. Only his troops, only 5,000 people. Under the leadership of the Elf Queen. The crowd came to a cave. Deep in the cave is a gate. There is a complex magic circle on the gate. It seems to be a kind of sealing ceremony. As long as this magic circle is unlocked, can enter the inner world. Aries Qian introduced. Can't you figure it out? You have 10 great mages. Chen Qi asked curiously. The strength of this seal formation is at the level of a great wizard, and even an elf queen cannot break it. Aries Qian shook his head. At this moment, a man with a long gun stepped forward. He is very handsome, with a tear mole under the corner of his eye. Very beautiful. Let me come. His voice just fell. A single spear splits into two, red and yellow. He explained. This red spear, called the Red Rose of Destruction, is a sharp spear that can nullify the defense formed by magic. Then, he waved his spear and stabbed the seal formation. A burst of light shone. Then it gradually dimmed. The seal formation actually broke apart like fragments. Xu Jie, it seems that you are really hiding. It's so easy to destroy the sealing formation. Aries Qian exclaimed. Xu Jie was also speechless. He didn't know either. Where did this somewhat narcissistic gunman come from? However, the release of the seal is a good thing. He began to look forward to what the underground civilization could bring to him. Look at the blue channel in front of you. The three ordered the troops to advance. Through the channel, the troops came to another world. The forest here is vast, and there are tall trees everywhere. Any one tree is more than 10 times higher than the ground world. Cough. This is the underground world. How can there be a sun? Chen Qi was a little puzzled. Maybe it wasn't the sun. Xu Jie took a deep breath and said slowly. He asked the two girls to observe carefully. This is where I found the difference. Original. In the sun in the sky. A bird could be vaguely seen sleeping. Oddly enough. And it has 3 feet. I thought of a creature. 3-legged golden crow. Xu Jie said lightly. What? The 3-legged golden crow is the mythical bird that drives the sun carriage in ancient Chinese myths and legends. Evolution for the 3-legged crow born in the middle of the day. Aries Qian was surprised. She has high academic grades. Have a good understanding of China's history. Chen Qi also nodded. The 3-legged golden crow is the legendary bird made by the Queen Mother of the West. One said it was transformed by Pengu's left eye, and the other said it was the son of Emperor Jun. In ancient mythology, there was a black 3-legged crow in the center of the red sun. The black crow squatted in the center of the red sun, surrounded by golden red light, so it was called the golden crow. This sun is almost exactly the same as the legend. There is an 80% chance that this is the 3-legged golden crow. There is actually a 3-legged golden crow here. Such a thing. Totally unexpected. Nobody understands why ancient behemoths will appear here. Let them tread carefully. Xu Jie thought for a moment and said, there are high-level assassins in my army, so leave it to me to spy on intelligence. Xu Jie continued. The two women nodded slowly. They all have a sincere belief in Xu Jie. Soon, several people wearing skull masks came out. They are the assassins of the White Skull, alias the Old Man in the Mountains. Several people wanted to take a look, then start spying. With the help of assassins, the land begins to unravel its mysteries. Strangeness. It doesn't look like civilization here. Chen Qi said, civilization takes many forms. It doesn't necessarily have traces of life to be considered civilization. For example, a planet I attacked not long ago. The ascetic energy awakened by the planet master. His people can gain energy as long as they perform penance in the cave. I thought that planet had no intelligent creatures, and almost lost the battle. Aries Qian is obviously well informed. Immediately tell what happened to her not long ago. Shu Jie also gained some insight. Unexpectedly, there is also a civilization of ascetic. Don't do it either. Staying in the cave will make you stronger. This profession, why does it sound so familiar? He thought for a while. Still didn't understand, so just give up, right now. An assassin found something different. I saw only one mountain. There was a corpse floating. Like humans, corpses have limbs. But the difference is that it's just too big. The arm alone is hundreds of meters. Oh my god, what kind of creature is it that has such a body shape? Aries Qian was also taken aback. On her magical planet, dragons are not uncommon, but even the biggest dragon. In front of this creature, also like a little one. Giant, whether it is in the east or the west, there are legends of giants. The west is the Titans, and the east is the Kuafu. Reminiscent of the three-legged golden crow above my head, I think this is the Kuafu clan. Chen Qi is very smart. It would be inferring. She used logical thinking to deduce the identity of the giant in front of her. But Shu Jie doesn't think so. He shook his head. I feel like it's not human. Not human. The two women were a little surprised. First of all, the skeletal structure is different. A giant or a human. The lower body is long and the upper body is short. But you look at this creature, its upper body is unusually long, but its lower body is very short. This shows that its basic structure is not the same as the human body. Shu Jie explained. Then he thought for a moment. Make an inference. I think this creature is probably a chimpanzee. Shu Jie stated his inference. Chimpanzee. The two women were a little puzzled. But soon, a growl confirmed his conjecture. I saw a 50-meter giant chimpanzee appearing in front of the assassins. It growled and attacked, but assassins are very flexible. Dodge easily. Sure enough, should be a chimpanzee. Aries Qian was surprised. She admires Shu Jie even more now. Really did not expect chimpanzees to be so big. But it's still far from a skeleton. Chen Qi said. Shu Jie nodded. That is. If I'm not wrong, this chimpanzee is only in its infancy. If it can grow, it must become like this giant skeleton. Shu Jie speculated. The two girls took a deep breath. If chimpanzees can really grow to this point, that combat power is also terrifyingly terrifying. 1 power down 10 sessions. In front of such a behemoth. Magic, fighting, card, monk, all can be smashed with one punch. Such a creature should be out of the category of chimpanzees. I suggest giving it a different name. Shu Jie suggested. What name? Aries Qian wondered. King Kong. Shu Jie laughed. Jin, gang, that's a nice name. The two women agreed. Then what we have to do now is catch this King Kong, the three said at the same time. After the assassin went back to report, the three-man coalition marched towards the valley. And their goal is very simple. That is to catch King Kong alive. Roar, sudden, a roar that resounded through the heavens and the earth suddenly appeared. Then, in front of the three armies, there were 6 giant snakes. Said it was a giant snake. In fact, it is more reasonable to call it a flying snake. Because these giant snakes are flying in the sky. On their necks, there are actually selected wings. Beware, Aries Qian issued an order. The army of magicians quickly released a transparent magic shield. Boom, 6 giant snakes slammed into the shield. For a moment, the whole space began to vibrate. These giant snakes should be about the same size as the King Kong, and the magic shield won't last long. Aries Qian said solemnly, you buy me time, if it is super-level magic, there should be no problem. She looked at Shu Jie and Chen Qi and said. Shu Jie thought for a moment. We are here to gain benefits, not to cause damage. In my opinion, these giant snakes are also a powerful fighting force. If it can be conquered, it will definitely increase our strength, and it would be a pity to eliminate it. The two girls were a little weird, but also agree. What Shu Jie said is not without reason. Dogwhy does not explode equipment. What good is it to kill a giant snake? I remember, the magician has a spell, the Light of Temptation, right? Shu Jie looked at Aries Qian and asked. The Light of Temptation can kill undead monsters directly, or paralyze ordinary monsters, or make them servants of the caster. Aries Qian nodded slowly. However, I want to make the enemy submit. It's very difficult. Such a giant snake has been standing at the top of the food chain. I'm afraid it's not that simple. A cold light flashed in Shu Jie's eyes. Then we will hit it until it succumbs. Immediately, he began to give orders to the troops. Ancestor, let us not kill this giant snake aura. Kalka wondered. We don't need to speculate about the meaning of the ancestors, we can just do it. A Bao stood up and said. He is now more and more like a dragon hero. He also believes in the words of his ancestors. Since the berserkers are dispatched. Kalja thought for a moment and made a decision. Compared with other classes, berserkers' attack power and physical strength are abnormally high. Relatively speaking, it has the strongest attack power and the lowest hit rate among all classes. But in the face of this giant snake, blind people can't hit. Soon, a soldier came out. He is more than 2 meters tall, has black kelp-like shoulder-length hair, red pupils in his right eye, black-white eyes, and golden-yellow in his left eye. The dark skin is naked, the wrists are tied with both hands, and the muscle ties are very strong. He was wearing a war skirt and bare feet, holding an axe sword in his hand. His eyes are red. There is no sanity. His master, to some surprise, turned out to be a little lowly. My berserker is the strongest existence, and it will be no problem to give it to him. Little lowly is petite, but has a big voice. This credit cannot be taken by you alone. At this moment, a scrawny man came out. Next to him is an armored knight. He wears a helmet. No one could see his face clearly. But there was a dark aura about him. It looks very general. Hey, don't be so loud. Aren't we looking down on the rest of us berserkers? A warrior dressed as a general with a Fengtianhua halberd in his hand, rode a blood-red BMW and stepped forward. Lu Bu, Feng Xian. Shu Jie was a little surprised. This image is familiar to almost every Chinese. How strange. Why, they were able to summon Lu Bu. Hard to do. The spiritual world actually overlaps with the real world. Never mind, I don't understand for a while. The main one is the giant snake. Even if you are unparalleled in the world, with the size of a giant snake, I'm afraid it's difficult to pack two at the same time. Give me a source of light, can you? At this moment, a female soldier stepped forward. Although she is female, but the aura is no less than the other 3 men. Female, berserker class. Interesting. Shu Jie touched his nose. I didn't expect you to come to this world. Originally, I wanted to settle accounts with you. But the giant snake in front of you is more important. A little lowly with a wine gourd on his back also stood up. Drinking boy, I didn't expect you to be a berserker too. Yuan Reguang frowned. It seemed that the two of them were old acquaintances. Haven't you fallen too? My swordsman Sama, want to have a drink with the slave family? Little lowly gave a charming smile. Lord, the handsome boy who also carried the wine gourd came to her side. Ibaraki Doji, I didn't expect you to be a berserker too. This is really interesting. Yuan Leguang, do you think you alone can defeat the two of us? The Shuden boy chuckled lightly. Shu Jie was speechless. I am sending you to fight. It's not to joke around with each other. Unexpectedly, this group of heroic spirits. They were all old acquaintances. But, at the moment, let Laozi put down any grudges. Following his orders, all the berserkers looked solemn. Boom, the magic shield shatters. The 6 Dulese people were killed together. One person is responsible for a giant snake. Go crazy. Berserker's basic skills. It was displayed by 6 people at the first time. The stars guide me. The astrologer begins to chant. All kinds of constant buff blessings are on them. In addition, there are various debuffs harassing the giant snake. Aries Qian's eyes are full of incredible. I see. The 6 warriors turned out to be like punching sandbags. The giant snake was powerless to fight back. It's just 6 people. Shu Jie didn't care. The 6 giant snakes. Not his goal. King Kong is. Because just now, he clearly saw that there were quite a few skulls of these giant snakes at the feet of Earth King Kong. If you guessed correctly, these giant snakes are just for King Kong food. More. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.